We're going to start this event on time. That's one in series. So I'd like to welcome everyone. It's almost the end of the year, holidays, depending on what we celebrate. In these pandemic times, I'd like to extend a warm welcome to everyone, the speakers and the audience. And we're going to have a very nice program coming up soon. So please enjoy the talks and interact as the event proceeds. We're going to have a live stream of this event as well. So in this virtual times, that's what pandemic made it possible for us to meet without the need to travel. So please welcome, and let's the program begin.
Okay, I will do your translation. Actually, you talk too long, so I'm not sure I translate everything for you. 大家你们好，刚才这个是 Sergey 博士，也是康考迪亚大学的教授，然后他也代表这个中加艺术科技联盟这个活动的论坛的主办方，欢迎大家的到来。不仅我们今天有非常棒的中国、加拿大这个演讲嘉宾，也非常感谢观众的这个参与。另外呢，今天还有这直播的平台，大概是这样的。如果你们到网页上去看的话，非常棒的。也非常感谢这个全景盒子给我们做的这个直播平台，可以从这边去加拿大，然后海外的这边是可以去国内的，所以也有一些观众在我们的这个直播平台上，也特别的感谢，其实挺感动的，因为自疫情以来嘛，很多活动都取消了，很多的这种国际交流也取消了，所以我们今天也特别感谢大家能够还继续在这个平台上交流，我们也很荣幸继续做好这个桥梁的作用。Also, it's going to be Christmas for our Western people, our guest speakers as well. Really appreciate so much your time and our Chinese speakers your time. So same as Sergey said, we really appreciate your time to be here. Wish you have a good evening and wish you feel it's a meaningful night for you as well. Cheers. 谢谢主持人，你们可以开始了。
感谢我们Sergey先生和我们宋苗主席的简短的致辞。下面我们开始会议。尊敬的各位来宾、女士们、先生们，大家好。2020中加娱乐科技高峰论坛于蒙特利尔时间12月18日晚8点。北京时间12月19日早9点，同时启动了。欢迎大家来到2020中加娱乐科技高峰论坛的网上现场。
Dear guests, ladies and gentlemen, the 2020 China-Canada Entertainment Technology Summit has launched at 8 p.m. on December 18th Montreal time and 9 a.m. on December 19th Beijing time. Welcome to the online forum of the 2020 China-Canada Entertainment Technology Summit.
本届论坛由中加艺术科技联盟、中国经典影视产业园、中国科技文化传播产业创新平台、中加国际电影节联合主办。北京新汉云图文化科技有限公司、法国拉瓦勒虚拟现实联盟、全景盒子协办，由全景盒子提供全程直播技术支持。
This forum is organized by Canada China Art Tech, China Science and Culture Communication Industry Innovating Platform, Jintian Film and Industrial Park, Canada China International Film Festival, and co-organized by Beijing Sinostar Culture Technology Company, Lava Virtual VR Alliance, Penson Box, and among them, Penson Box provides full technical support for live streaming of this event.
本次峰会除了在Zoom直播间可以观看外，还为观众提供了线上直播展示平台，分为国内和海外2个通道。该直播平台由全景盒子独家提供，感谢全景盒子的大力支持。本论坛也是魁北克数字文化计划实施的一部分，也得到了上海市科技行动计划的支持。感谢大家的支持。
Audience, in addition to viewing this summit in the Zoom meeting room, Penson Box also exclusively provides an online live streaming platform with both domestic and overseas channels. Thank you for your strong support. And this forum is also part of the implementation of the Quebec Digital Culture Program and is supported by the Shanghai Science and Technology Action Plan. Thank you very much for your support.
疫情挡不住我们前行的步伐，延续9月19日、11月28日举办的2场高峰论坛，我们继续深化讨论娱乐科技这个主题。中加娱乐科技论坛旨在组织搭建北美地区核心娱乐科技企业与中方科技企业及设备厂商商业项目对接平台，深入探讨数字多媒体娱乐高科技技术现状和发展趋势，带动加拿大知名娱乐多媒体科技公司与中国文化科技产业市场的核心交流，进而形成国际合作机制，共同推动中加影视文化科技技术交流与发展。
The epidemic cannot prevent us from moving forward. To continue the spirits of the previous 2 ET summits on September 19th and November 28th, this summit is to establish a business platform for in-depth discussions between the key entertainment technology enterprises in North America and China, as well as the equipment providers. The agenda of this event is for Canada and China companies and marketers to discuss the current situation of digital multimedia entertainment technology and its future trends. The event aims to foster international cooperation and push the growth of film and TV productions and technology development in both Canada and China.
本论坛特别邀请了15位相关领域的专家，他们将围绕娱乐科技主题分享经验，探讨未来，为娱乐科技发展以及国内外相关机构的交流与合作出谋划策。让我们共同听听专家的声音。
In this summit, we have specially invited 15 leading experts in this field. They will share their experiences and discuss the future revolving the theme of entertainment technology and shed light on the development of entertainment technology industry and the cooperation among the relevant institutions at home and abroad. Now let's hear the voices of the pioneers in this particular field.
下面我们先请3个主办方来介绍一下主办方的情况。我先介绍一下中国科技文化传播产业创新平台的情况。抱歉，我先共享一下屏幕。
Before the official speech section, 3 major co-organizers will have an introduction about the platform they represent. Firstly, please allow me to have a brief introduction about me and the China Science and Culture Communication Industry Innovative Platform, i.e. CCIFF, that I represent.
我先介绍一下中国科技文化传播产业创新平台。中国科技文化传播产业创新平台由科技文化、金融、传媒等相关企事业单位构成，是跨地区、跨行业、非盈利型的产业创新平台。目前成员单位70余家。创新平台旨在推进高科技技术在文化传播领域的应用，塑造新型产业链的一个形成，大力促进科技与文化产业深度融合的新兴业态，引领产业的一个健康发展。创新平台的单位构成，包括几方面，主要一是我们中科院多家的研究院所，还有我们中国戏曲学院等多家大学，北京剧场协会、中国海外创园协会、中加艺术科技联盟等园区及协会，北京科技金融促进会、欧美同学基金会、北京银行等知识产权金融服务机构，中外名人文化集团、大唐网络、融创建设等行业龙头企业。创新平台秘书长单位中科视为是原中科院科学传播研究中心团队公司，是国内新视觉领域的领军企业。公司拥有原创的科技文旅夜游产品奇幻光影森林，自主知识产权 ARAI 智慧文旅平台，在2019北京世园会成功示范应用，与华为联手打造全球首例基于5G 的虚拟示范景象园林。公司作为中国科技文化传播产业创平台秘书长单位，与多家成员共建文化大数据方向。中科视为创始人葛水英研究员，也是联盟常务 执行副理事长兼秘书长。2000年开始从事虚拟视觉、虚拟现实及多媒体领域的研究工作，作品曾荣获中国电影华表奖、中国电视星光奖、中国动画学会美猴奖、国际莫比斯创新奖、中加国际电影节最佳科技奖等多项国内外的奖项，主持了中央文资办文化产业重大专项项目、国家科技支撑计划项目等多项国家级科技项目。中国科技文化传播产业创新平台在相关几个方面开展跨界合作，包括我们共建创新研究应用院，带头的那个科学家，包括我们的孙九龄院士，行业的地理信息和信息化的综合的一个院士，包括我们科技和文化融合的我们科学家兼艺术家的葛水英主任。我是06年开始做中科院的技术转移工作，在技术转移方面，然后具有一定的经验。我们目前3方融合，在科技、产业和科技成果转化方面形成一个融合创新的应用平台。这是联盟在基金和孵化产业园上，我们形成服务体系一条龙的科技文化领域创新的产业基金加孵化的创新平台。这是我们联盟的一个简单介绍，时间不多，就在此简单说一下。下面我们有请金田产业园的杨峰杨总介绍金田产业园的情况。
The following is the presentation by Mr. Yang Feng, founder and president of Jintian Film and Television Smart Media Industrial Park. Let's welcome.
大家好，我是来自北京金田影视产业园的杨峰。我向大家介绍一下北京金田影视产业园这几年在做的一些工作。金田影视产业园呢，一开始就是以文化加科技的定位融合发展来做北京的园区。到目前为止，已经在影视科技、数字传媒艺术方面融合发展的已经形成了新的生态链和生态集群。在中外交流方面，我们也积极的推动海外的优秀的科技影视企业与中国的影视企业的融合发展。我们在电影及广播电视这个音频视频这方面已经在北京建立了很好的
不好意思，打断一下，喂 PPT 我没有看到，
已经建立了很好的这个生态，在3D 超高清、4K、VR、AR、XR 方面，融媒体方面已经有很好的发展。我们现在也在拓展泛娱乐、游戏、沉浸式演出、文旅演出、数字化展示方面。我们未来的发展方向主要是基于5G，在 VR、AR、4K 加3D 加 AI 方面，在推广这样的产业集群。我们将在中国市场以文化科技加互联网方向，在大湾区、长三角、京津冀、西南地区和西北地区，要建立我们线下的展示基地和生产基地，服务于我们文化科技企业的产业发展、专业空间、实验室、设备租赁和人才服务，以及金融服务和地方政策的对接。我们将在未来的几年，在以下几个方面布局中国的产业市场，也是服务于咱们目前在中国活跃的中外 优秀的科技文化企业。谢谢大家。
下面有请活动主办方中嘉国际电影节的活动总监、设计总监 Echo 赵女士做主办方介绍。
Thank you, Mr. Yang. And next, let's welcome Ms. Echo Zhao, the event director of the China-Canada International Film Festival, to give her introduction.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our ET Summit. I'm Echo from CCIFF. It's my pleasure to speak on behalf of CCIFF. On today's agenda, I'm going to talk about our organization, partner, our team, and finish up with successful business projects that we had and currently have and other upcoming ones. Canada-China ARTAC is a nonprofit organization dedicated to cultural dialogue between the two nations by connecting stakeholders in the field of art, technology, and digital interactive media to provide them with collaborative opportunity abroad. Our summit is a series forum which is supported by the Quebec government Ministère de la Culture et de Communication. As you can see, this is our ET event from last year. The theme are cultural heritage and the performing arts. This is the ET Summit for this year's in September. CCIFF stands for Canada-China International Film Festival, which is organized by Canada-China ARTAC. As a nonprofit organization, we have hosted a film festival for the last 4 years. This year will be our 5th edition. Each year, we also host the ET event, master class, women's film forum, film screening during the festival. This is our opening and gala from the last year edition. Due to this year's conspicuous circumstance, we have hosted our ET and VR Summit virtually in September and November. Besides doing the film festival, we also have a lot of collaboration and research with different organizations worldwide. CCAT is an idea platform to start building business relationships in the Chinese market. You can see our presence in the following business area, such as movie, television, virtual reality, digital content, and the new media entertainment. This is a project we currently have with Shanghai Symphony Orchestra and the China Telecom. CCIFF and all the business project could not have been achieved without our great lineup of delightful partners. They are from a variety of well-known tech sectors and top-notch entertainment technology companies. To end this presentation, I would like to introduce our talent team. Here we have our founder, Dr. Song, Dr. Sergey, and part of our team, tech team. This is our operation team. We are all volunteers, and some of us have been with CCIFF for more than 5 years. We always welcome our new talents to join us. Without them, it's impossible to achieve our fulfillment. We would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to you, our dearest guests, and everyone in the CCIFF community. Thank you for your support during this extraordinary time. I'm thrilled to have you tonight to join us and enlighten us with your insights. And I wish you the best of the holiday and a very safe, creative, collaborative New Year. Thank you. Enjoy.
谢谢几位主办方的介绍。我是中国科技文化传播产业创新平台的常务副局长刘青莲，非常高兴能主持今天的会议。现在我们进入正式演讲环节。第一位演讲嘉宾是促的项目总监努尔巴尔瓦布女士，她是一个社区建设者和问题解决者。她认为技术和创业精神是增强人们可持续发展、不断建设我们周围世界的最佳途径。她也是她加入促发起的原因。现在让我们欢迎努尔巴布尔女士发表演讲。
Thank you for the speakers, the featured speaker today to introduce their platform and their contribution in order to organize this event. And now let's come to the keynote speech section. The first one to present is the director of the programs at Zoo, Ms. Noor Bavab. She's the community builder and problem solver. She believes that technology and entrepreneurship is the best way to empower people to continue developing the world around us. And that is why she joined Zoo Incubator. Now let's welcome Ms. Noor Bavab to share her story with us.
I think she was here and she was off. Yeah, maybe when she joined again, we could move forward. Yeah.
Okay.
Next one. Thanks.
主任，下一个，这个
下一个
没有。
下面我们有请加拿大国家电影局的技术总监埃罗伊·尚帕尼先生。他擅长 SR、VR、AR、MR 动画互动电影制作、VFS、S3D。他的作品大多位于艺术和技术的十字路口。他是一位多才多艺的讲故事创新高手。下面有请埃罗伊·尚帕尼先生带来他的分享。
Now, the next speaker is Mr. Eloy Chambagny. He's the technical director of NFB Animation Studio in Montreal, and he specialized in XR, VR, AR, MR, animation, interactivity, filmmaking, VFX, S3D, basically a jack of all trades of storytelling innovation. And his work is situated at the crossroads of art and technology. So now let's welcome Mr. Eloy Chambagny to share with us.
Hello, everyone. Nice to be here. You can see me and you see my screen, I hope.
Yes.
Perfect. So thank you, CCIFF and Entertainment Summit for having me again, and to all the sponsors. So my talk is like a compressed version of an hour talk that I did a while this year. Sorry if I'm going to go pretty fast and jump quickly from one section to another. Just before I talk about my topic, which is using VR for story development and pre-production, I just want to say a few words about the National Film Board for people that don't know us. So the National Film Board of Canada is a government of Canada agency. Actually, it's not an agency, but it's part of the government of Canada. We create groundbreaking interactive work, social issues, documentaries, and author animation, and also a lot of interactive work in the last few years. We've been around since 1939. Guys, oh, sorry, there's noise in my house. We've been around since 1939, and so we've been creating content for more than 82 years. So why focus my talk on story development and pre-production in VR? The reason is we're exploring VR, we're creating content in VR, but I always felt that VR was an amazing production tool, an incredible tool to actually create content. But I feel that the tools are not yet ready for actual final products. So I decided to focus on using these tools for story development and pre-production. And I will explain a little bit more about that, and you'll get a few examples. Over the years, we've been exploring the different tools that exist, the different software that have been coming out. You've heard of Tilbrush probably over the years. You've heard of AnimVR. Maybe you haven't heard yet about Masterpiece Studio, but you're going to hear a lot about this fantastic software that has been developed in Canada, in Ottawa, more specifically. Software like Microsoft Maquette or Tivori. And this is just among a list of software that exists, and there's new application coming out seriously every month or every few months for creating content. These are the main one that exists right now that we have been testing and exploring. And recently, I've had the chance to do proof of concept as part of the International Broadcasting Convention about immersive workflow for CG animation production. So I have decided to focus on, again, storytelling and previs or pre-production for stop motion more specifically. So I will show you this experiment that I did, and I decided for that experiment to focus mainly on the use of two of those VR applications, Tivori and Masterpiece Motion. I will try to switch my screen to the video. Let me know if this works. So there you go. I hope you see this. So this is a 5-minute presentation. I will probably skip some part, but I will talk over it. There's no audio. Let's see. All right, so the goal of the proof of concept was to explore the most recent VR software to see whether they can improve story development and pre-visualization. I decided that my focus was that I feel that 2D storyboard and animatic are insufficient to effectively convey the story and figure out the timing, especially when we do stop motion animation. But not only, I think this test could apply to the animation. It could apply to potentially the development of VR software or VR project, or it could apply to even live action film. But my focus here was for stop motion animation because it's very difficult to previs a stop motion film. And it's very difficult to start production of a stop motion film if you don't have a very good storyboard and a very good animatic. In the past, we tried to use software like Maya or Blender, 3D software to do previs or to do 3D animation. And it was never a good option because the learning curve is way too difficult for the filmmakers. So we ended up usually skipping that part, and we tried to do previs using the actual puppet in the set. But you don't have the full motion, you don't have the animation, and you don't want to use the puppet because you might break them and they're really fragile. So what I decided to do is to do photogrammetry of the actual puppet and the actual set to create really quickly a 3D model that I could rig using, for instance, Mixamo. I perfected the rig in Masterpiece Motion. So I bring the very rough, let's say rough, photogrammetry puppet in Masterpiece Motion, sorry, to just fix the rig. And you'll see I will bring this puppet then in Tavori. So what that allow me to do is to actually do a previs of my animation, my stop motion animation, almost as if I was actually animating on the real set. I will fast forward a little bit here. But you see, this is the set. So it's a quick, rough 3D model of the set made with photogrammetry, where I can put the actual puppets that I also did photogrammetry of. And I will forward the animation a little bit, but I can start animating with a virtual camera that I will place in the set. So I can start animating and do quickly a previs of my shot. So this gives me a lot of great information, like the focal length of the camera. It allows me to bring the actual storyboard in the set and start following the storyboard and trying the animation before we actually do it with the puppet. It's a huge time saver. I'm going to fast forward a little bit. So I can also play with the lighting. So this gives me an idea of the rough look in the development. I can animate the puppet. I have a preview of my scene. And I can import my, as I was saying, I can import my storyboard or my animatics, so I have a reference. And I can follow that reference when I do the animation. I will fast forward a little bit. I can play with the lighting, so I can do also a little bit of the previs of the look. And after an hour, less than an hour actually, I add a rough take on what the shot would be. So really rough. I'm not a great animator. I did that myself, but I can have a director with very low learning curve being able to animate or previs a shot in 3D. And then you can see the real animation after in stop motion using the real puppet. And it follows quickly what we managed to do with the previs. It followed really fairly precisely what we managed to do with the previs. So the next step is to use higher resolution assets. So we are doing very high-res scan, as you can see. So the next step will be to use really high resolution scans and to try tools in mixed reality instead of just VR, so we can previs our animation in mixed reality. The conclusion was that making the animatic in VR is considerably faster. It allows for a much more detailed animatic with a lot more information like depth of field of view, camera move, proper timing, lighting, and it's a lot cheaper. It allowed to push the quality a lot more, so we get better quality results, and ultimately that save time and money. So that was it for that challenge. I just want to switch again my screen. Sorry, there you go. So I just want to say one last word about something that we're working on. It's a creative lab. It's called ONFB-XP, and I hope you guys can keep your eyes open in January when we will launch the lab. It's our second edition. The plan is to use our resource and contact and our know-how to help studios, creators, companies out there push ideas that they have, technical ideas, challenges that they want to explore, and to be able to help them push a little bit more their ideas so they can see the light of day. So there's going to be blog posts and a lot of posts on social media starting in January about the different team. We have 5 projects that we're helping in the next 3 months. So please keep your eyes open for these projects. And please visit our website at nfb.ca to see our interactive project and our film. We have over 5,000 film available for you to see. Thank you very much. I think that's my time.
Thank you very much, Mr. Eloy Shamban. Eloy Shamban 先生介绍了他最近在 IBC 展示当中所做的这样的一个实验。基本上就是他通过模拟一些3D 的木偶动作来节约实际木偶这个电影动画制作的这里面的这个时间以及成本，可以可能是 VR previous 的一个工作流。然后他还简要的介绍了一下他们马上要上线的这个 ONFXP 实验室的这个新版本，请大家在1月份的时候关注他们的动态以及登录他们的网站了解最新的讯息。好的，感谢。对。主任，继续。
感谢艾洛伊·尚帕耶先生的精彩演讲。下面有请中国电影资料馆的事业发展部黎涛先生和修复师王征先生为我们带来他们的演讲。
Next, let's welcome Mr. Wang Zheng, the senior restorer of China Film Archive, to bring us his speech.
大家可以听到我说话吧？
可以。
大家好，我是中国电影资料馆的王征。因为今天呢，那个黎涛主任有一些这个事情，所以他不能参与。然后呢，我替他给大家介绍一下我们中国电影资料馆。中国电影资料馆呢，是2块牌子，一个呢叫这个中国电影资料馆，另外一个呢叫中国电影艺术研究中心。是中宣部负责这个电影档案管理还有电影艺术研究工作的一个正局级的事业单位。电影资料馆呢成立于1958年，目前呢共有是4.3万个馆藏的电影节目，图像档案呢是1.6万卷，文字档案呢2.9万卷。然后我们是在1980年呢成为了这个国际电影资料馆联合会，也就是 CCIFF 的正式成员。为这个电影的国际交流发展作为这么一个中国电影的这个国际交流发展作为一个重要的平台。1984年呢，我们成立了这个电影艺术研究中心，然后到85年的时候开始招收这个电影历史还有理论硕士学位的研究生。到了2018年呢，我们开始这个做这个 MFA， 也就是艺术硕士的这种专业的这个研究生的教育。今天呢，主要给大家来介绍一下，就是关于我们的这个电影修复的工作。我们这个资料馆呢，现在呢大概呢是有22000部的这个中国的国产电影的原始底片。原始底片呢，也就是当时就是创作时候保留下来的最初的这个底片。我们现在呢把这个电影修复分为这个3个阶段。第一个阶段呢就是物理修复，第2个阶段呢是数字修复，第3个阶段呢叫艺术修复。我们先给大家来介绍一下我们的物理修复。中国电影资料馆呢在这个西安，也就是西安的临潼，也就是兵马俑的这个旁边，有这么一个自建馆以来一直就是传承下来这么一个电影的洗印的队伍。 我们可以看到，在我的这个 PPT 里展示的就是，这是中国唯一现在还保存的一条35毫米胶片的洗印车间。这块呢，就是说物理修复呢，一定是在西安来完成的。你比如像这种，因为我们最早修复的电影是在1922年，很多胶片已经出现了各种各样的问题，那么呢，就要在这个环节当中呢，我们进行物理修复。这个大概就是物理修复，因为今天时间比较有限，所以我就大概给大家介绍一下。然后这个呢是我们经过物理修复以后，我们可以看到左边呢是原始这个损伤的样子，右边呢是完成物理修复的这么一个状态。然后呢，第二个阶段呢叫数字修复。数字修复呢，这也就是把胶片做这个数字化。我们首先要把这些胶片运输到北京。运到北京以后呢，我们要通过这种超声波的清洁，把它在运输过程中，这个因为这种细微颗粒物包括浮尘，然后把它清洁掉，清洁掉以后呢，我们要做这个转述。这个是一个大概流程。然后我们可以下面来看一下这个，这就是我刚才跟大家说的，这叫超声波的清洁，也就是为清洁机，也就是清洗这个胶片。然后第二步呢是把它转成数字，这个也是现在国内唯一的一台新型号，就阿莱 scanner 这个 XT 型号的这么一个这个扫描仪。这是我们的一个修复的一个机房，这些呢都是在数字修复阶段。其实总结就是说对扫描完成以后的画面还有声音进行修复。今天特别想说就是这个是我们修复的最早的一部影片，1922年的《劳工之爱情》的一个对比。这个你看它这个胶片已经卷曲了，然后最终经过我们修复以后就变成了一个现在的样子，右边就是修复完成的。第三步呢叫艺术修复。艺术修复呢其实是电影资料馆这些年通过经验总结出来的这么一种修复方法。因为我们修复的这些影片呢，其实都是原始底片。原始底片呢，放到今天呢，就是我们拍摄完以后的画面，没有经过调色的。那么呢，我们呢现在做这件事儿呢，是通过2种方式。一种呢是会邀请曾经参与过的主创，您比如像这个第4代导演谢飞，包括第5代的一些导演，他们都来到了中国电影资料馆，跟我们去共同完成这件事情。然后呢，还有第2种方法呢，就是这个，我们会参与一些这个文字档案，您像我们现在我给大家展示这部影片呢，是50年代的祝福，但是呢，桑湖导演和钱江摄影其实都已经不在世了，所以呢，我们就会调取到我们的一些档案，然后呢，来参与修复，我们在这个调取这个祝福这部影片，也就是在疫情刚刚开始的时候，我们修复的，因为当时，这个我们在2月底的时候，就是2020年2月底的时候，要去参加这个戛纳电影节的这个经典影片的展映单元，所以在这个时候呢，大家为了赶这个时间点，也就是克服了很多困难，来到了我们这个资料馆来进行修复这件工作。然后就是刚才我说到的这个，就是我们找到了这部影片的导演阐述还有摄影阐述，他当时其实已经把这个每一个镜头应该是什么样的颜色，应该是什么样的一种氛围都描述得很清楚了。所以在这个时候，我们就对于我们修复来说，这块就非常非常的重要。因为这个咱们的底片保存得非常好，现在技术也非常。就是扫描这些设备也非常的高精尖，所以呢，在扫描完成以后呢，影片的画质是非常非常好的，但是这部影片的祝福呢，因为是一部悲剧，所以呢，在修复的时候，我们就不能按照这种就是通过新技术扫描出来的影像来去修复，在这个桑湖导演的导演阐述中，他就说了一句特别特别至关重要的话，他说。本片虽为彩色片，但不宜绚丽夺目，亦一股淡彩色的味道。 所以我们按照这种方式，我们就一点一点调整，最终把这部影片调成了就是在这个导演阐述还有摄影阐述里边所要求的样子。这个就是我们做完以后的样子。刚才这个第一张图片呢，我们可以看到它是一种就是有点发黄色的，但是其实这个影片在它描述的时候，摄影描述的时候，他说的是照着他这个文字可能不太清楚啊，他这写的是说显得格外的苍白。那么我们在这个时候，我们就要把这部影片做的，你看他的脸很苍白，然后那种月光是那种暗淡的月光，然后把整个调整完成以后，最后就是我们做完以后，我们也找到了这个桑湖导演的儿子，现在是这个上海交大的李继忠教授。让他看完之后，他说他非常认可这个修复的作品。这是我要表达，就是说艺术修复这块一定要修旧如旧，尊重原创。然后经过这些年的修复呢，我们总共修复了4K 的分辨率的影片是15部，2K 的呢是354部，高清的500多部，544部。因为今天这个主题呢是这个 VR 这个 AR 主题，所以更想跟大家去介绍一下，在这个电影修复当中的一些关于这些科技的应用。首先呢，我们通过这个 AI 技术，做了一个关于这个声音修复的这么一个技术，它是什么呢？比如说一些老的电影比如它某句声音丢失了比如说我们举个例子比如说是这个周璇的声音，比如它某个片段对白是没有了，那么呢我们就可以从这个以前曾经比如说他在30年代的所有的电影，我们把他的声音全部采集下来之后呢，通过深度学习的技术，然后把它这个训练成一个训练集。有了这个训练集以后呢，我们再通过这种 PTS 文字转语音的技术，再将它这个声音恢复到这个，就把它的声音再重新的创作出来。这个大概技术，也就是我们现在用的这种导航软件里边，比如说像有这种，可能那个国内的朋友知道的比较多就像什么郭德纲的声音、林志玲的声音，那些声音其实并不是说它是从这个本人录的，而是说他去找一个录音机，然后在他的身边放很长一段时间来训练他的语料。有了足够的语料之后，再通过深度学习技术，然后制作成现成的训练集。这样的话，它就可以发出任何人的声音。同样，还有这个关于这个 AI 的上色，因为前几天呢，在国内有一个上甘岭的这么一个黑白转彩色的这么一段这个我和我的祖国这个片段。这个片段呢，其实就是我们做的。所以我们也想说的就是说，首先说呢 ，AI 上色呢肯定是一个新技术，但是其实对于历史价值来说，有些 AI 上色其实它并不是很准确。那么呢，我们呢就是结合它的这个AI 的这个上色技术，同样呢还要去制作，也是跟那个声音的那个训练感觉是一样的。我们要搜集很多相关的信息。然后把这个训练集做好以后，再通过这个修复技术把它还原到最真实的历史价值。这个是一个从修复这个理念来说的这么一个想法吧。我今天就介绍这么多吧。非常感谢各位，然后那个也预祝中嘉电影节越办越好。我希望这个各位这个专家老师能借助现在的新技术，让电影修复这个工作呢能继续发扬光大。我就介绍这么多，谢谢大家。
感谢黎涛，感谢王承贤为我们带来的分享。下面的演讲嘉宾是康考迪亚大学建筑环境综合设计与持续研究主席、设计与计算技术副教授卡梅拉库德拉博士。他是下一代城市研究所的临时联合主任，也是潜在建筑研究实验室 LAMP 跨大学和跨学科团队的成员。下面有请库泽拉博士为我们带来他的演讲。
Thank you, Mr. Wang Zhen, for your excellent speech. The next speaker is Dr. Kamala Kukuzala, Concordia University Research Chair in Integrated Design and Sustainability for the Built Environment and Associate Professor in Design and Computation Arts. He is the interim co-director of the Next Generation Cities Institute, and she's also the member of the inter-university and interdisciplinary team of the Laboratory for the Study of the Potential Architecture, i.e. LEAP. Now let's welcome Dr. Kukuzela to share with us.
I will be presenting my project Collaboratoire. The title of my presentation for this evening or this morning, depending on where you are, is Public Spaces as Hinges Between Environmental Knowledge and Action for Urban Sustainability. So what my project is about essentially is about an ongoing knowledge exchange research project with community in the city of Montreal. So we use the city of Montreal as a living lab. This project started in 2016 and it's ongoing. So what I'll do is I'll use the 10 minutes that I have to explain to you some of the events that we've done and some of the projects that we've undertaken in the past 4 years. Very, very briefly, obviously, because it's only 10 minutes. So first of all, Collaboratoire has adopted the urban corridor of Sherbrooke Street, which runs 31 kilometers east-west of the city of Montreal, as an organizing principle for all of the urban installation and all of the urban ideas, challenges that we organize in this project. The reason why the Sherbrooke Street is a very important street is because it really represents shifting social, economic, and political context all along its length and makes it a very promising choice for the different types of work that we want to work with each of the communities that live along this corridor. So the question that we ask in this research project are what are the different ways in which we can engage community conversations in public spaces specifically related to urgent urban issues. So in this project, we use public space as infrastructure for interaction, for awareness raising, for knowledge exchange, and for community conversations. So we've developed a whole series of design challenges in the past couple of years. Right now, we're working on our third. Each one tries to touch a different urban issue specific to that area. So as our first design challenge, we launched an international student design challenge where the site was our Loyola campus. And at that time, which was our first challenge, we received 26 design proposals from about 5 or 6 countries around the world. And the design challenge was to redesign the bus shelter that was there, but in a way that augmented the program for the bus shelter. And in other words, the bus shelter would be used as a bus shelter during peak hours, but off-peak hours, we wanted the students around the world to rethink what this shelter could be used both for the university and for the community that lives around the campus. But a second criteria that we had at the time was we wanted the integration of solar energy and solar power in creative ways, whether it's about collecting or storing or using the solar energy in some way and displaying some information about the use of solar energy in a playful manner. So we received about 26 proposals. The one on the top left is the one that won. One of the things that we realized in this project is that we were too focused on the technical object and not enough focused on the behavioral aspects that such a design challenge could entail. So what we did for our second design challenge, which took place in the east end of Montreal, was that we launched it in partnership with 2 different other organizations. One was the CRC in competitions at Université de Montréal, and the other one was CRE Montreal. We received 94 proposals from 21 different countries around the world. In total, we had 403 students in this second design challenge participating in different types of ideas. What was very different about this design challenge is that we did not ask for a technical object. We did not want students to rethink the bus shelter at all. What we wanted is these students around the world to rethink what the spaces surrounding the bus stops could how that space could actually be used, so that citizens around citizens could think that when they're waiting for the bus, they're actually more than waiting for the bus. And that's why the title of this competition is More Than Waiting for the Bus. So the two deliverables for this design competition were, one, we wanted the ideas that were very environmentally engaging, very ludic in many ways, in ways that would enable citizens around the city of Montreal to use the bus all year round. And the second deliverable that had to be delivered in this competition was a series of principles that could be adopted for future implementation that would be used in collaboration with the City of Montreal or the Transport Commission to be able to develop ideas in the future for other bus stops or other stations that incorporated public transport around the world. So the 4 stations that we had as a site to be used at the time were these 4 bus stops that were in the east end of Montreal, a very, very concreted area of the city of Montreal. And so we wanted these spaces to become more engaging for the people so that they would be more encouraged to take the bus all year round. So we received, like I said, 94 ideas from around the world, ideas that were way more inspiring this time, ideas that did not focus on the technical object of the bus shelter alone, but rather on all kinds of experiences for citizens while they're waiting for the bus. And all this was just by utilizing the small neglected spaces surrounding bus stops. And so some of the designs were really focused on trying to improve these neglected spaces through more cultural, collective, or active elements, such as playgrounds or mosaics or reading capsules while you're waiting for the bus. Other designs were far more interactive, and they tried to adjust with the different changing seasons, thereby encouraging use all year round, even in the coldest days of winter. Other designs were really meant as a way to encourage and learn about biodiversity in the city. In some cases, they were applications that tried to help identify some of the biodiversity. Some of them actually were about incorporating diverse vegetation in these sites. Others were quite informative, more directly informative and understandable for people of all ages and for a variety of needs. Sometimes people wanted to know how much carbon emissions were reduced by each trip on the bus. Others were about the cultural events taking place in the city or in the neighborhood, and others was really about the bus schedules or just basic events regarding the public transport in and of itself. And so we also had designs that were quite playful, quite visibly playful, that use a lot of color and light in order for it to be more engaging for people of all ages, and in many cases, especially for children. So what we did with all these ideas, in fact, this is the most interesting part of the project, is what we did was we worked with the City of Montreal as well as Cré Montreal to be able to build 2 outcomes that would both be used to help work further with community in order to develop further ideas of other public spaces to help and to help re-energize other neglected spaces surrounding bus stops around the city. So what we did was, first outcome was a game which we called a game of spatial potential ideas, where the drawings were used to create a game intended for community participation and to specifically help non-designers, in other words, regular community around the city, to imagine public spaces in Montreal and how they would see their own public spaces revamped for their own communities. So this type of game helped them build the dialogue and the vocabulary to be able to communicate with the municipality, to be able to generate these kind of ideas together. So what we did here was that the competition panels were deconstructed and reassembled in several layers. The first one had the basic features, as you see up here. The second had combined features, and the third had the most complex spatial compositions. And with these three levels, we generated a game where we would build a real dialogue with the municipality and the citizens, and where we can generate, in the end, a real brief for various public space development around the city of Montreal. So what this made is that new public space ideas were the result of drawings that were previously generated, and we generated ideas for completely different premises. So in other words, it was the idea generation was limitless. A second outcome of this design competition is that we're going to be publishing this guide of design principles as a way to further develop this collaborative design effort with the city, because this book will be freely available and will be able to help citizens work with the city to help develop each of their own neighborhoods. So a third challenge that we're organizing at the moment will be launched in February of this coming year. And with the COVID, everything was delayed, obviously. And so again, we will be collaborating with the City of Montreal, with CRE Montreal again, and again with the research chair in competitions at the University of Montreal. And the question that we're asking this time, it's always around the questions of mobility, because this is one of the things that we're really trying to put forth in the City of Montreal with this research project of Collaboratoires. We're really trying to activate multimodal mobility within the city and move away from the individual vehicle use. And especially with COVID, this becomes an even more kind of pressing issue today. And so the question we're asking is, how can we use open city data in the public, in design of public spaces to raise awareness and mobilize citizens towards more active mobility? Thank you very much. And if you have any questions or comments, I'd be happy to respond later, or thank you.
下边有请感谢库普泽拉博士的精彩演讲。下面有请促项目总监努尔巴布尔女士进行演讲。
Thank you very much for amazing sharing, Dr. Kukuzela, and Ms. Noor Bavab has come back to share her story with us. Let's welcome.
Yes, hi. Sorry about that. I was trying to find where the mute button is. So my name is Noor Bavab. I'm the director of programs at Zoo Montreal. And Zoo is essentially a new initiative that was launched at the end of 2019. And it's meant to be a hub for creative entrepreneurs and creative individuals from Montreal and around the world. So what we want to do within Zoo is to redefine what the entertainment of tomorrow is going to look like. And the mission that we were given was given to us by the founder of the Cirque du Soleil, whom some of you may know, was in his past has redefined what the circus means and
we can
how
watch
to do it
without there's nothing else we can do.
Sorry?
But basically the only comment was, thank you very much for that socially.
So it's to redefine the future of entertainment and how we can reimagine it with all the technology that we have on hand and all the amazing projects, for instance, that have been presented to us this far. So what we want to do is to really cultivate, rethink, and redefine entertainment. And we've been given a space in the middle of downtown Montreal. Sadly, now it's not accessible, but it is meant to become almost like a hub or a village for the entertainment industry. It's about 30,000 square feet that host as much as event spaces, showcasing spaces, but also labs, co-working spaces that I'm going to show you some pictures of. But it's in the heart of downtown Montreal, and it's allowing the creative companies that may not have had access to the downtown area to regain it and reclaim it. This is some of the spaces, what they look like, or what they would look like eventually. So this is one of our event showcasing spaces that is being renovated at the moment. We have also immersion and production, almost like an open lab or a living lab for new shows, new entertainment vehicles, and workspaces and office spaces, because the idea is to, by bringing everybody together, we can in a way make them collaborate and work together and create more interesting projects, which is in a way what's been happening under our roof, even with the distance, but through other means of communication and other means of collaboration. So what we've achieved over the past year is we've supported over 29 companies, 29 startups in the entertainment field. I'll show you a couple of examples later. 20 companies have also set up residence at Zoo. There's been 100 people from all around the world that got involved in our programs, and over $13 million that have been raised by community members. So what was interesting as well is that even with COVID, we've managed to support the companies to continue their activities and to survive the crisis that have hit the entertainment industry pretty harshly. So by connecting with Zoo, you're connecting with the partners, you're connecting with a community, an ecosystem, people that are there to support these companies, that are there to propel them, and are there to make sure that they're advancing in the right track. They also have access to cutting edge tools and facilities and technologies like a 5G lab with all the technologies that they need in order to start experimenting and implementing projects with 5G, and collaboration spaces. We've also designed a few programs that are meant to support the companies in different stages. So that we have as much programs that are meant for really early stage, so at the idea phase kind of companies, all the way to develop projects that want to materialize and start selling their products. The approach for each program is a bit different, because for the Genesis program, for instance, what we've done this year that have worked fairly well is we've collaborated with corporations that are looking for new ways to engage their audience, new ways to redesign spaces, be it malls or abandoned spaces, to kind of rethink how this can attract more people. And right now we're working on the next phase, which is what's going to happen once life goes back to normal and we want to bring people back to the downtown areas in Montreal. We're launching, which is what I'm going to be focusing on for the next few minutes, the Focus program, which is there to really help companies prepare for their first round of investment and really define their goals and objectives so that we can help them get to the next level. And we've mobilized mentors from around the world that were part of the Cirque du Soleil family to support these companies in their development. So for the Focus program, we have an application open at the moment. So the deadline for application is on February 1st. So you have time. And if you have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out to me. And the idea behind it is to really help companies structure and solidify, because the issue with what we've noticed over the past year is a lot of the entertainment focused companies or the creative companies in general, they do have amazing products that really have a huge impact on people's lives, but they don't necessarily think about the economical sustainability of the project, and that's what we want to help them get to. So the idea, the objectives is to help companies define help companies achieve their first round of investment, and then carve out a key place for them in the market that will allow them to scale as much as the Cirque did. The services that we offer, all the services combined with all our partners, are valued at $30,000 of support per project. So there is three mentors that are assigned per project to the companies. There's 50 hours of consultations with experts. from legal advice to accounting advice, financial advice. They're all part of our network. And you get the privileged access to the Zoo network, which I'm going to show you in a bit. The timeline looks like this. So the program starts on March 22nd. It's completely online, so it's accessible to anybody anywhere. We've decided to run it online again. Well, this year we did it kind of by circumstances, but next year is intentional, because what it allows us to do is to focus on companies that are in the entertainment field, but not necessarily just in the city, not just in Montreal, but around the world, to create these connections and collaborations between people that would otherwise have not met. The block of content that we offer through this program specifically is we have workshops, as again, expert consultations, presentation clinic and pitch clinic, workshops to help kind of drill down certain business concepts that may not have been acquired previously by the founders, and obviously the what we call the guiding sessions, which are the mentors. So among the mentors we have, for instance, Bertrand Cesvé, who's the CEO of Sudley, which is one of the biggest agencies here in Montreal. But we also have Sarah Andeline from New York, Florian Mesny from France, Gilles, who's an investor here based out of Quebec, and there's about 40 other people that are mobilized to support the companies over the next year. What we're looking for is companies that are in the entertainment field, so companies that are working either in digital entertainment, music, video games, film, but that are developing or using new technologies, new novel technologies to engage fans in new ways, or to create tools that can make the life of creative entrepreneurs or the life of creatives a bit better. So some examples of companies that we've supported is Madefire, who are based out of San Francisco. And what they do is spatial computing. They've developed spatial computing technology with augmented reality for comic books specifically. So they can transform a comic book into an augmented reality animated motion book. Another example is Galea, who are a platform for local artists. So people that have visual artists who didn't necessarily get the chance to be in galleries yet, they can access and sell their art directly on the platform. So these are a couple of examples of companies, but we've also been collaborating a lot with OVA, who have received investment actually from China. And they what they do is they've created kind of the equivalent of WordPress, but for VR environments. So anybody, anywhere can create a VR space, kind of like the game The Sims, if you guys are familiar with it. These are the partners that we have. So again, we've gathered a lot of partners, be it the government of Canada, the city of Montreal, but we also have telecommunication companies like TELUS, Lenovo, Motorola, and amongst others. And so they're all divided amongst the technology companies, but also the entertainment and creative companies like Phi Center, which is based out of Montreal. So that's about it from my presentation. Don't hesitate if you have any questions to ask me in the chat later. I'll be more than happy to answer them. And if you're interested to know more about Zoo and the projects that we support, also don't hesitate to contact me.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Babak. Babak 女士，主要就是介绍了一下这个Zoo孵化器的一个基本情况。这个孵化器呢，包括路演厅啊、合作空间呀、会议室呀，还有公共办公的这个空间，全方位的去辅导和支持创业者的这个初创的阶段。那目前呢，他们已经招收了29家初创企业。已经进行了250个小时的创业辅导，已经成功的融资到了135万的加拿大元的这样的融资记录。今年的这个 疫情对他们的影响也不是很大。那它主要就是接下来介绍了一个叫 Focus 加速器的这样的一个项目。通常他们都是就是在明年的2月份之前，他们会想要招收一些这样的初创企业进入到他们这个加速器。然后是通过首先的一个产品的构想到检验它的可行性，然后再到研发产品，再到市场检验等等这样的一些环节。那从3月到6月就是它主要的这样的一个加速的阶段。如果就是成功获选的这样的一些加速器，他们会获得3万加拿大元的这样的一个奖金，以及空间的支持，还有1对1创业辅导的这样的一个支持。创业的导师都是来自世界一流的背景。那他们想要找的这个加速器的背景，就是初创企业的背景呢，主要是在这个娱乐科技的领域，或者是在数字化，或者是在电影，他们要有这个非常前沿的技术。就像包括之前他们合作过的这样的一个初创企业叫 Matfire， 它是把那个是把漫画书把它变成动画，有这样的一个快速转换的技术。那如果说大家听到它这个加速器感兴趣的话，可以在2月1日之前就是提出这样的一个申请，然后他们可以帮助你去对接这样的一系列的资源。大体就是这个意思，谢谢。
感谢努尔巴布女士的精彩演讲，后续大家有需求的话也可以去对接。下一位演讲嘉宾是上海交响乐团科技与信息中心主任翁康年博士。下面有请翁博士为我们带来他的分享。
The next speaker will be Dr. Weng Fangnian, Director of Information Center of Shanghai Symphony Orchestra. Now let's welcome Mr. Weng to share his speech.
各位好。然后今天我代表上海交响乐团来分享上海交响乐团文化科技融合创新的实践。Good evening, everybody. So I was speaking bilingual. My topic is about technology innovation in Shanghai Symphony Orchestra. And as the presentation homepage, you can see this is the Shanghai Symphony Orchestra, which is located in the downtown of Shanghai. 上海交响乐团是坐落在上海市中心，然后呢，也是上海城市的一个文化的一个象征。上海交响乐团拥有超过140年的历史，是我们国家非常悠久的一个交响乐团。然后呢，在2014年的时候，交响乐团整体上交迁址到上海新建的上交音乐厅，然后呢，也就是实现了团厅合一。在这个过程当中，它的厅的本身融入了完全是按照上交的定制化的要求来进行定制的，所以它有一个1245座的一个大厅和一个最大可到450座灵活座位的一个小厅。So Shanghai Symphony Orchestra has built its own symphony hall and opening in 2014. So Shanghai Symphony Hall is designed by Izuzaki-san and a famous world-class acoustician like Toyota Yasuhisa. So working together, so Shanghai Symphony Hall is designed for Shanghai Symphony Orchestra with a big hall of 1,214 seats for the big hall and 450 maximum chamber hall. It's a with movable space. So 2 halls. It's located in the downtown of Shanghai. It's the symbol of Shanghai culture. 首先是第一点，就是根据国家大剧院前任院长陈平老师的统计，自2000年起，中国平均每7.5分钟新建成一家专业剧场。下面的图片显示的是在上海正在新建的上海大歌剧院，包括我们国家现在在推进的几个建设项目当中，类似于像国家大剧院在通州的副中心剧院和深圳歌剧院这一系列大体样的文化公建项目，正在大量的进行建设之中。如此众多的剧场也提供了科技创新的一个重要的一个平台。剧场本身它包含了非常多的在建设过程当中和使用过程当中的科技创新，比如剧场它在隔声隔音的方面有非常高的要求，而对于一个剧场来说，最重要的就是提供了 建筑声学的一个优秀的一个一系列的指标和要求。在这个过程当中，剧场形成了一个非常良好的也是大的一个空间。这些大的和专业性的剧场的空间，它在不仅是要满足平时演出的需要，包括它的前厅、它的公共区域，以及它在很多方面能够为所在地的教育、培训以及展陈和科技创新提供良好的一个载体。So there appears a new professional arts center every 7.5 minutes in China since 2000. There are many. There is a picture of Shanghai Grand Opera House that is in build, and you can see that there are so many high-quality theaters, concert halls, and opera house that are appearing in China. So it provides many good platform for technology innovation and even become a platform for not merely professional arts, but also for their lobby area and also their public space can be co-used for creative arts performing and also for public educational and promotion function. So you can see that there are Shanghai Grand Opera House, National Grand Theater Subcenter Theater in Beijing, Shenzhen Grand Opera House. There's so many of them that are happening in China. So many platforms, which is a good start, and it requires a lot of new technology to be involved, especially in this very timing. So back to 回到上海交响乐团，这是上海交响乐团的主厅，它是一个环绕式的一个结构。然后呢，上海交响乐团有超过140年的历史。我们下设有乐团，然后还下设有上海乐队学院。这个是上海交响乐团与纽约爱乐乐团和上海音乐学院3方共同建设成立的一个硕士授予点，为的是专业培养以交响乐演出为主的专业的一个培训专业的一个教学机构。同时呢，我们还设有每2年举办一次的上海埃塞克斯特恩国际小提琴比赛，以及已经办了10年的上海夏季音乐节。所以呢，这几个品牌造成了就是共同造成了上海交响乐团这个音乐厅啊，它的应该来说是全国剧场演出的一个频次非常高的一个剧场。那大量的一个内容，它承载着这个剧场的每天承载着这个剧场的一个运营。那在这个过程当中，我们也在不断的尝试新的技术和新的一些科技手段的应用。So Shanghai Symphony Orchestra has over 140 years old, and it also includes Shanghai Orchestra Academy, which is a master degree professional academy, together with the New York Philharmonic and Shanghai Conservatory Music School. And also we have Shanghai Essex International Violin Competition every 2 years. And also has Music in the Summer Air Festival, which has been held for over 10 years. So altogether, Shanghai Symphony Orchestra and Shanghai Symphony Hall has provided more than 200 professional performance yearly. And the content, the richful content, has provided this platform a lot of opportunities for technology innovation and research. So you can see that there are 5 sound reflection board panels in the main hall, and the main hall has a good acoustic, and also it's mainly made by wood materials, and which reaches the NC target NC 15, and also it's very, very important thing is that it's very quiet. It has a good reverberation sound, and it provides a professional platform for us to do research and creative thing. 这是上海交响乐团的 我们的小厅。这个小厅的大家可以看到，现在它的板是那个，就是它的舞台地板是12块，是一个平面，它其实是可以12块是可以任意升降的，所以它其实就是创造了一个，就是我们右边看到的这60个座位它是固定的，除此以外，它是一个不设中心舞台概念的一个剧场。也就是说，我们在顶部是有接近40个单点吊，然后在2楼的这一些的座位都是活动座位。您看到的在3楼的这一个它的一个格栅是可以拿走之后，然后也可以做一些创新性的演出。在我们的4层是有声学的一个帘幕，它能够通过开启和闭合来改变我们小厅的一个混响时间。所以呢，通过这么灵活的又体现专业性的一个剧场的话，能够让上交承载各种各样的演出形式。很重要的一点是，这个小厅它也承载了实况录音的，包括给电影实况录音的一个功能。因为小厅可以完整的放下一个3管编制的一个交响乐团。然后我在后面会跟大家分享有一些变化的形式。So this is the chamber hall of Shanghai Symphony. The main function in the design is for film recording, live recording, since it can fit for a full orchestra. And there is a 12 pieces movable stage, which make it very, very flexible in performance. So as you can see that right now it's flat, but the 12 pieces can be moved easily, and it can contain a lot of those chairs can be hidden in a hidden area, so that now you cannot see, but what we call it is much more like a black box, but it's with a good acoustic. So the thing is that it also provides a very interesting space for chamber performance and also some creative performance style. 然后呢，上交呢又拥有就是实况录音的一个5.1.2的一个阵列，所以我们可以展示了我们有一个5.1的一个音频的编辑室，以及呢在右边我们做了一个3D 全息的一个声学的一个编辑室，这实际是个实验室，也就是在右边的这一个环境当中，我们有200在地上、地下，然后和墙面上面共架设了200多个内置的一个音响，然后呢，在整个的是一个声学的一个全息的一个环境。所以呢，我们在上交的一个特点就是我们注重艺术内容的一个存档和再利用的一个。我们在每一场的演出之后，我们会进行实况的录音，然后在5.1的编辑室之后，然后我们把我们自己拥有版权的，我们会在右边的3D 全息声学实验室里面进行一个在3D 合成，然后呢进行一个存档和再利用。所以呢，这也是我们上交就是提供了一个良好的一个艺术的一档的一个存档和一个就是声音的一个再利用，就不光是它的一个现场的一个音效的一个强调，那也就是因为有了这一个当时的一个基础，为我们后面走向直播和一个在线的一个传播的途径提供了一个打下了一个基础。So as from the left side, you can see that every Shanghai Symphony orchestra's performance, which we have copyrights, so that in the left side, we have a 5.1 sound recording and editing room to record each of our concerts and to reserve it as digital 5.1 archive. And on the right hand, we have 3D hollow sound recording editing lab. So on the ceiling and the whole room in that lab, it contains over 200 loudspeakers. As you know that the sound has a direction, so that with this lab, we can test and to transfer the 5.1 sound to the 3D sound, and then we can use it more easily in the future. So we have a reserve base, digital base to have the 3D sound that recorded our previous performance already. and we are very highlight about the importance of the digital archive. And然后呢，上交在演出的时候呢，我们也在不断的尝试新的技术，然后包括我们用高流明的投影，然后和艺术家这块一起合作，在上交的场地里面，我们在我们的5块反声板上面直接投影数字电影，也就是在这个过程当中呢，是我们的音乐会就体现了一个交互性，也特别有意思的，这是我们今年夏季音乐节的天书奇谈的一场就是多媒体的音乐会。然后呢，在上面就是有一个演出，然后在这同时的过程当中，这5块反声板可以一并的来投放。对 ，So Shanghai Symphony Orchestra also that we have tried a lot of interesting and with a high resolution projector, our sound reflection panel, we directly project film and multimedia archives that onto the reflection board and together to do the live concerts. So this is what we have done in our last summer festival, which is very interesting. It's very good direction to go. 然后呢，在我们的小厅里面呢，我们也是做多媒体的结合多媒体的一些包括我们上海民族乐团的一些演出。然后呢，这是栀子花开这一场演出。然后在这个过程当中，我们也是邀请了一些艺术家，然后同时在多媒体上面做一些尝试。与此同时呢，也是结合我们现场的演出，它的最终的呈现效果，然后非常的好。那大家可以看到，这一个演出其实是在上交的小厅里面，所以就像我前面说的，我们的单点调加上行架之后，它可以直接形成一个投影面，然后呢，一些就是创新型的演出可以在上面进行，所以这是一个非常有意思的。This is what we have done with the Shanghai Folk Music Chamber Orchestra in our chamber hall. So the traditional artists, Chinese artists, can preset and pre-draw a lot of interesting the drawings, and so working together with the band and to make a very live and interesting and a good result. So 然后呢，我们又基于这个我们整个的一个外立面，因为我们是在那个上海的一个市中心，所以呢，我们又做了很多在外立面上面的一些投影的尝试，这是交互的一些展示。So we also done that to project directly to our concert hall outside wall with a big projector and also multimedia. Interesting to promote and to highlight because it's in downtown Shanghai. And recently, what we have done is with the Team Lab Shanghai to do the interactive with the sound. So the Team Lab has already a very interesting and multimedia gallery in Shanghai. So what we are doing right now is that they record our song and they interactive during the live performance, the interactive and the change of the style of what they present in the gallery. So it's very interesting. The result is pretty good. Okay, so what I have recently done in Shanghai Symphony Hall this year is the 5G remote control with multi cameras, because there is a preset. The Shanghai Symphony doesn't allow any kind of hole digging after its completion. So there is no, so we cannot always rely on the TV station to come and record and to do the live streaming of our concerts. It's very costly. And another thing is that we cannot afford it. Okay, so what we are doing right now is that the whole Shanghai Symphony Hall is we set a 5G MAC station together with China Telecom. So because that during the performance we block the signal of the mobile and the traditional mobile and 4G signals. So it also block the traditional 5G signal. So we have to use the Minimax station to create what we call the virtual 5G MAC signal to support our VI and MR system, and also to support our remote control cameras. So with that, we create an interesting in our own platform together with China Telecom, the remote control multi cameras for the audience to freely choose which direction they want to see that's in their will online. Another thing, 然后呢，我们在上交这边还做了一个就是5G 的一个尝试，上交完成了一个5G 虚拟专网的一个建设，同时呢，我们又VR 的这一块就是它必须小于15赫兹，然后一个 MR 的一个头显，所以就是非常非常的有意思。And the last thing is that because the Shanghai Symphony Hall has very strict requirements for the sound quietness, so the traditional VR system didn't work in Shanghai Symphony. So we have to keep the VR system and the mapping outside of the hall and to keep the NC noise level that's less than 15 dB. So we would make a very interesting together with some scientists. And another thing is the MR headset that didn't let the audience feel dizzy. This is one thing. And another thing is that it can using the 5G to project about the score and also about the explanation of the performance and the concert hall during the live concert. So this is what we have done so far now. And if you have any questions, just feel free to ask later. Thank you.
感谢孟康年先生的演讲。下一位演讲嘉宾是国际执行制作人谢尔文·高希耶先生，有请。
Thank you, Dr. Von Sir, for excellent introduction. The next speaker is Mr. Selvan Guthier, professor at McGill University Schools of Continuing Study. Now let's welcome.
Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be with you. I haven't been in China for a long time, but I've actually lived 11 years in China. So, I've worked with a company like Wanda and Beijing Olympic Committee, Shanghai Circuit. So I kind of know the world of entertainment between the two worlds, Canada and China. So I'm going to disappoint you a little bit because I don't have any technology to introduce you tonight. I'm not a technology guy. But I'm more on the receiving end of the technology. And what I do is like I produce shows and events and also movies. And what we have is usually we have to develop teams, and teams that include the creative teams and the technical teams all together coming in and having them to work together in order to create amazing stories or, deliver amazing concept. That reality is sometimes a power struggle. We have great technology like you guys are presenting, we're getting overwhelmed with everything that we could do now. And it's coming almost like on a monthly basis, something new we could use, etc. So we are overwhelmed sometimes. And at the end of the day, it's important that we understand, and that's my word of wisdom that I'm going to have, and it's going to only take a few minutes here. Is to share with you what needs to happen on our side, and on your side, if you really want to have your technology to be taken by the creator. And sometimes, and past history or past example that we have, and I'm going to share with you some example. Sometimes people get frustrated and they feel like they got great technology, they got great, we could do great things, and they're not getting heard by the creators, by the storytellers, and sometimes also it's our storytellers that are not open-minded, they're a bit closed-minded, they want to, they're not used to change. So we have to put them together. And as a producer, executive producer, my job is to make sure I get the best team on both sides. And I spend good time with the two teams. I like to have them sometimes to clash. I like to have this power struggle between the two teams. But at the end of the day, it's important to remember one thing. It's the story that counts, okay? Not the technology. And nobody sits in a theater at the end of a performance and say, I didn't like the presentation, but I like the technology, okay? It does not happen this way. And so that's why it's important, and that's why it's my message. It's like sometimes people are disappointed in the way that we will settle differences between the creative team and the technical team is by taking side with the creative team, okay? And that's my job, is to protect the story, to make sure that we are delivering the story. And if my creative team is not comfortable with the technology we're trying to push there, with the ways that, you know, people are seeing it and how they can enhance certain things. And sometimes, yeah, I could understand, that looks great. But on the other side, if the director does not like it, if the writer don't like it, we will have to let go and say, no, we're not going to do it. And sometimes it creates also frustration. And my message is like, yeah, I mean, so the danger is to modify stories or try to shape stories around the technology and overwhelm sometimes the audience where they get lost, and then at the end of the day give a bad result. Okay, so the point is, and I want to make tonight is like between these two, it's creative, it's honest, it's a good force. We want that force, we want that challenge. And sometimes if my creative team is not really well open to a suggestion, I would sit down with them and say, you're going to sit down and listen to what the technology guy is going to bring to you, because at the end of the day, it's still going to be your decision, but at least listen to them and try not to shut down everything they bring just because it's, you know, you don't understand it. Okay, so we're going to do that, and we're going to facilitate that. But again, remember, the story will always win. And I keep talking, you know, especially in China, right? We work in China a long time. I've done many shows. I've done work with Legendary on movie production and things like that. And at the end of the day, you know, with the Chinese audience, it's always, if they don't understand the story, well, then, you know, it's not a good story. Okay. And it's, you could have overwhelmed them with technology. It's just, yeah, they like it. But at the end of the day, they don't get it. They don't understand the story. And it's the same everywhere in the world. That being said, and I'm not going to take a lot of time, because I know you guys want to hear about technology. You don't want to hear about me talking about receiving it. So if you are a creative team, okay, sometimes the technology guys will be bullying, right? They have big personality. They're convinced on what they do. They're going to make you feel like you're stupid. You don't understand that, etc. So I tell to my creative teams, you don't let yourself bullied. You don't change your story just to put the technology unless it's enhancing it, unless you understand how that's going to make the results better. Okay. And if you don't see it, if you need help to push back on the technology, you let me know. Okay. I will always be there to help you. Also, do not get dragged down. Sometimes the technology folks will have a lot of money, okay, because they have developed these great things on virtual reality, visual productions, like name it. They're coming left and right, the intelligence artificial, and they will want to develop story, and they will bring you and say, okay, here's the technology, develop a story. It's like, don't get dragged into this, because a bad story to showcase a technology was just going to end up with something that, you know, it's going to hurt you, okay? Again, okay, it's not the technology that drives the story drives the technology. The technology needs to be a big part of it, but it needs to enhance it, and it needs to be used wisely and at the proper time. That being said, my message to you is like, if you have amazing technology, but you still have a bad story, that's not going to save you. Technology is not going to save a bad story. Let's put it this way. Okay? 90 minutes, whether it's on stage or on set, of a bad story is still going to be a bad result. Okay? It doesn't matter what effects you put in there, what technology you use there. Yeah, technology for 10 minutes, 5 minutes, you know, wow, bang, bing, woo, whatever. Yeah, you could get away with it. A 90 minutes or 70 or 90 minutes, it's not going to happen. Last word of wisdom to the people in technology now. I say, okay, so I told my guys on one side, what do I tell the technology guys? If you're going to demonstrate your technology, Do not demonstrate the what it does, okay? Nobody cares on the creative side about what your technology do, okay? For them, if you say, here's the feature, you could do this, you could do that, it's like you're, demonstrating a toaster to them. It's like, yeah, okay, I see it, I understand, but I don't get it, how it's gonna help me with the movie, okay? Demonstrate how to use the technology in a story. Demonstrate, pick a story, pick a portion of it, and demonstrate how your story fit into this. And I keep telling that to the virtual reality guys. I don't know how many times they came and show us great stuff, and it's like, yeah, you could do this, you could do advertising, and people say, yeah, it's really cool, but we can't use it. Okay, thank you very much. If you would have shown it how you could have enhanced the story, or it's something that we try to work on, maybe we could have connected the what you're trying to and what you would like us to be able to do is to adopt it and make it part of the creative endeavor. And my recommendation is that every time you come up with a new story, with a new technology, come with a mini story, and don't, use yourself, improvise yourself as a storyteller. You never did that. It's like, I'm gonna go on the internet and watch for a story and say, okay, we're gonna show it. No. Get somebody that knows how to do it and say, this is what we want to do. We need a story where we could show that and have that person make that connection with that. So when you show something, it's actually something that you could put the director, the writers, the artistic people in a context and say, this is how we turn the story. This is how we have enhanced the story, so they could understand how they could use yours in their own endeavor. Okay, I'll give you an example. We have a famous movie directors working on a massive production, which is Dune, and people would brought him all kind of technology for this kind of thing, and only the ones that were able to show how to enhance the story were able to make it, in the production and even in the post-production. That means that my message to you is like, amazing technology has got to be with a good story. Do not put your technology with a bad demo presentation of an advertising or something like that. You're just going to kill it. Okay, we're not going to see it. Like, again, you don't want to be the toaster that we see at the other side. So let's make sure we understand how you can make it something that we're going to be, good. By the way, the image you see are all image from, this one is from Wuhan. We had others from Sichuan and from Beijing. So that's all I had for you. Okay, thank you very much.
谢谢，感谢高希耶先生的精彩分享。下一位演讲嘉宾是中国西企学院教授、新媒体艺术系主任、图书馆馆长谭铁志先生。
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Guthier, for excellent sharing. The next speaker is Mr. Tan Tiezhi, Professor of National Academy of Chinese Theatre Arts. Let's welcome.
唐老师声音，唐老师您的声音。
抱歉，现在开了吗？
好了。
那前面没有声音是吗？
现在有了，可以了。
我们今天的主题呢是科技文化融合创新，关键呢是在于文化如何发展。我想呢今天跟大家交流一下呢，就是说戏曲作为中华文化的瑰宝，我们怎样去把这样一个具有800年历史的这样一个中国文化的代表艺术形式，怎样在今天的这样一个科技融合创新发展的这样一个时代下，怎样去开展一些创新的一些实践。 我是中国戏曲学院的一个教授，所以我在这方面呢，应该说也有很多的思考。因为今天时间有限呢，我想呢就简单的把我们开展的一些工作给各位做个汇报。戏曲呢是中国是世界上这个3大古老戏剧。我们也知道古希腊的戏剧、印度的梵剧和中国的戏曲。那么中国的戏曲实际上是在艺术形式上、艺术表现力上和审美情趣上，都是中国传统文化的一种代表形式。目前呢，我们根据2017年国家文化部对于这个戏曲的一些普查呢，我们目前中国的现存戏曲的剧种有348个剧种。可以说，中国的大地上始终是有锣鼓声、有这个管弦声的。那么，也就是说，我们这个各个地方、各个省市、各个民族都有它代表的这样一种这种戏曲的艺术形式。也就是说，它是深入民间的。也就是说，我们的中国的文化是一个戏曲之国。但是呢，目前呢，我们因为戏曲呢，在传统文化的传承啊、保护啊，特别是在这个融合创新方面做的还很不够，尤其是跟社会的一些这种形态呀和社会需求的关系啊，和一些这种创新点呢融合的不够，所以导致我们目前呢，在戏曲的一些文化的一些表现力上和我们目前社会的这种关注度上。和文化传承方面存在很大的危机，也体现我们目前创新力的不足。所以呢，急需要我们跨学科和这种综合性解决问题的这方面的一些融入。其实呢，就是说这个我们这个戏曲啊本身呢是一个非常注重新媒体、新技术融合的一种艺术。比如说我们知道4大名旦，知道这个梅上成荀。实际上，梅上成荀4大名旦的出现，是基于当时的报纸《顺天时报》的这样一个新闻事件。那么，正是因为有了新媒体、新的媒介，才有了这样一种文化事件，才有了这个文化的这个事业的一种新的发展。那么，我们也知道，中国电影史上，中国的第一部电影是1905年的《定军山》。那么拍摄定军山的人物是中国京剧界的谭鑫培。那么我们也知道，这个中国的第一部彩色电影是《生死恨》。那么拍摄这部片子的主角是1948年当时的梅兰芳。那么梅兰芳也是我们京剧界的这个大师。那么为什么我们在电影史上这样2个标志性的事件都是由2位戏曲大师来参与来完成的呢？我认为这是应该值得我们思考的一个问题。那么戏曲文化呢，实际上呢又有很多它的特殊性，是吧？比如说我们中国戏曲文化，它是一种文人的戏曲文化。那么文人的戏曲文化里边有很多的这种文人的这种抒情言志啊，展现才华呀，包括这个文人的这种家国情怀呀。有很多的这样一些文人的这样一种意境的这种舞台艺术的表现。戏曲艺术呢还是一种宫廷文化的一种存留。我们可以通过中国的传统戏曲艺术呢，能够感受到中国的戏曲艺术的这种梨园的生机，和包括我们这种戏曲艺术的规范、精致和它的程式性。那么戏曲艺术呢，它又是民间的艺术，它又是民间的戏曲文化。我们刚才知道了有348个剧种，它的地方性特别强，它有大量的民风民俗、乡音乡情，应该说它是百姓百戏，是老百姓深入人心的一种这样一种文化样式。那其实呢，就是说这个从戏曲的这种本性上来说呢，我们刚才所说的内容呢，我们必须要戏曲无论它怎样发展，我们必须要认识它的这种戏曲的一种这个文化的特性。也就是说，我们运用新媒体也好，运用新技术也好，创新性的发展也好，必须坚持守正创新啊。其实呢，戏曲文化呢，它也是目前我们 非常尊重的或者非常关注的中国时尚的 IP 符号。那么在这方面呢，可以说这个实际上这个我们今天应该有必要，或者说应该有这个更多的关注度，能够从这个戏曲文化中去搜寻、去寻找丰富的中国的文化的IP 资源。正是因为这样呢，我们中国戏曲学院呢，这个今年正好是中国戏曲学院建校70周年。我们学院呢，这个在2006年就成立了新媒体艺术系。新媒体艺术系呢，可以说是在这些年来呢，大量围绕着戏曲文化的这种传承啊、创新啊、传播和创造性转化，做了很多的一些工作。比如说我们这个开创了这个多媒体戏曲。多媒体戏曲实际上呢，就是运用我们的新技术、新媒介，在剧场中或者说在演绎的这种表现中去融入新媒体、新技术，使戏曲艺术呢更加具有活力，更加具有传播性。比如说我们运用这种动画的形式和传统的戏曲的表演形式相结合，来展现了今天一种传统戏曲形式如何让这个青少年观众喜欢，让青少年观众能够融入这样一个戏曲的背景下去欣赏传统戏曲。当然我们也有呢，就是说利用多媒体的舞台视觉表现形式来尝试运用丰富的视觉艺术的这种表现手法和视觉艺术的一种表现的一种新技术，来使我们的这种戏表现呈现一种更加新鲜、更加好玩、更加符合现代人的视觉欣赏。我们还这个做了大量的戏曲动画。戏曲动画呢，实际上是把我们的传统的丰富的这种戏曲文化资源、戏曲的故事和戏曲的这种文化，变成今天的一种戏曲动漫的一种这种创意产品。那么在这方面呢，我们也是这个有这相关的一些专业和这种研究的方向，也开展了大量的这样一些艺术短片的创作。也希望我们这个各位朋友吧，能够关注我们这样一些新的一些。同时呢，那个我们也认为呢，这个戏曲艺术呢，它是一种以表演为核心的艺术。那么我们这个长期以来啊，这个戏曲艺术呢，一直是以这种口传心授啊来这个传承，来这个教学。那么目前呢，正是因为有了这样一些新的技术、新的一些这种科技手段，使我们能够换一个角度，或者说能够从科学的角度，能够来真正的能够去围绕着我们表演的一些这个传承来做一些深入的研究。比如说我们在表演数据的一些采集、表演数据的一些研究、一些分析，通过这些表演数据的采集和分析呢，不仅能够把它运用到一些动作的一些这种表现的一些艺术形式上，更重要的我们也记录大量的这样一些数据库，同时呢也使我们表演的一些数据能够有更多的围绕着怎样去精准的传承方面，能有了一些更重要的一些数据和科学上的依据。
感谢唐老师的
我们也进行一些这个交互表演形式的一些体验。那么一些这个，比如说我们运用一些触控平台去进行一些皮影戏的一些网上的表演。我们也这个开展了一些公共艺术的一些体验形式，比如说我们运用投影，运用这个。
感谢唐老师的精彩演讲。咱们时间今天紧张。
好的，马上。
好。
好的。我的总体的观点是呢，我们要坚持以新媒体、新技术、新媒介的科研融入来传承传播中国戏曲文化的核心价值，将戏曲文化 文化的资源，转化为今天的数字创意产业的资产。谢谢大家。
好，感谢那个唐老师的精彩演讲。下面我们有请菲利普·达德先生，魁北克加拿大 S2 的通信经理，有请达德先生。
Thanks, Professor Tan's wonderful speech. I will put the summary of your speech in the chatting comments area. Please keep in mind the audience. The next speaker is Mr. Philip Bahat. He is the communication manager for Quebec, Canada XR. Let's welcome.
每位嘉宾8分钟，还请各位嘉宾注意一下时间啊，抱歉。
Please also bear in mind the time frame. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Thank you very much to the organizers for welcoming me at this event, and thank you everyone for being here. So as was mentioned, I'm chargé de communication, so in charge of communications for Quebec, Canada XR, which I'll present to you today what this project is, what we do. And so the goal of the presentation is just to give you a summary of our activities and perhaps to invite you to connect with us. So we are a think tank for independent XR creation in Quebec, Canada, and the French-speaking world at large. So we do deal in French first and foremost. And so the goal of my presentation will be to run you through some of the things that we've done, how we were funded, how we are governed as a project, some of our objectives, our activities that we run online, and some of the resources that we offer to creators. So Quebec Canada XR was funded to represent the variety of things that happen in the field of XR in Quebec and Canada at large. So as a short summary, for those who might not know, XR is a term that represents, which stands for extended reality. It represents the amalgamation of virtual reality, augmented reality, mixed reality, and immersive and interactive media at large. So we have many studios active in that field in Quebec and Canada. We heard from Éloi Champagne earlier this evening from National Film Board of Canada, which are an amazing studio who have a lot of amazing works this year, especially in the field of XR. But there's a lot of other studios in Quebec and Canada. Felix and Paul, ED Film, Phi Studios help produce work. We have a great collection of studios. And so the project was born out of a need for representation of these studios. Quebec is a small cultural identity, a small culture within a sea of Anglophone speakers. We're a small French-speaking minority, so we felt there was a need to represent local creators in French, especially because XR is a very Anglophone field. The project was launched in 2019 at Cannes XR, and it was launched from inspiration of Uni XR, which was a French XR association, and we wanted to bring the concept over to Quebec to have a Canadian equivalent to that. The project is governed by 5 entities in Montreal. So MUTEC, which is an electronic music and arts festival, Festival du Nouveau Cinéma, so a new cinema festival, Phi Center, which is an art gallery and now producer of virtual reality experiences and tours, and RIDM, which is a documentary film festival, and finally XN Quebec, which is an association of producers of digital experiences. And so these 5 entities together, govern the project and make sure that we represent the interests of the industry and of the different players in that field. So some of the objectives that we have at Quebec Canada XR are what we call an XR showcase of local works. We do original research and publications. We do a veille technologique, which I could translate as technological survey. we hold events, or at least we used to. We are currently doing a project on a mapping of XR in Canada at large. We offer resources for creators. And finally, we're also doing a study on XR distribution, which I might call upon you for help, actually. I'll get that to in a bit. So the first of these activities, as I mentioned, is an XR showcase. So this was on our Medium page, which you can find the link here on the bottom, a series of interviews trying to showcase local creators, all in French. Unfortunately, as I mentioned, we do try to represent our creators in French because there's very few works being promoted in French in the field of XR. So this series of publications meant to showcase local creators, showcase upcoming works, and to get an idea of how they were doing, some of their strategies. We also publish a more wide variety of publications, either tendencies in the field of XR or original thought pieces, so reacting to what is currently going on in the field of XR. And again, these can all be found on our website, which I'll share later, or on Medium, which is where we publish some of our more elaborate thought pieces. As I mentioned, we do offer also a technological survey. So although I show a lot of VR headsets right now, what this survey is just keeping up to date with what is going on in the field of XR technologically, but it could be with software or any developments which might help creators go forward. So I do try to survey what is coming out to offer our creators and show them some of the new opportunities that they could take a part of. We've also organized a series of events. So sometimes we go into studios with fellow creators. So the picture on top, it was a tour with European creators at Felix and Paul Studios. And the image on the bottom was a discussion forum at MUTEC to discuss some issues around the field of XR. So we try to hear from our community in order to better represent their interests. Moving on, an XR cartography or map. We've been tasked by by an entity, which I won't name at the moment because I'm not sure this is public yet, but we are planning on doing a map of XR in Canada. So Canada is extremely wide as a country, and so there's not a lot of discussion at times with different provinces, and so we don't know every player across the country. So this will be an interesting project to get a better impression of all the studios, with the ultimate goal of promoting co-production and exporting of these studios' project internationally. We also offer a series of resources for our producers, so mainly call for projects or funding opportunities, which can all be found on our website, quebeccanadaxr.co. And finally, the latest project that we have, and which will be launching more so in January, is a international study on XR distribution to try to gauge some of the best practices in XR distribution. There's a lot of ways this can be done, and so we're trying to figure what are some of the ideal strategies for distribution of XR projects, whether it be in location-based entertainment or online platforms, for instance. And so I invite you to follow us, and if you have any questions, you can reach either me or find us on our social media of the company. Thank you again for having me at this conference, and I look forward to hearing the next presentations. Thank you.
感谢菲利普·达德先生的精彩演讲。下面，演讲的嘉宾是北京广播电视台超高清工作室制作部特技科负责人赵新生先生。8分钟的演讲，有请赵新生先生。
Thank you, Philip. The next speaker is Mr. Zhao Xinsheng, Director of the Special Effects Division of the Production Department and HD Studio of Beijing Radio and Television Network. Let's welcome.
好，大家好，我是北京广播电视台的赵新生。北京广播电视台是原北京电视台、广播台和网络台合并而成。然后今天我将与大家分享超高清影像研发与实战上的一些心得。超高清技术已经越来越多的人有更清晰的了解。今天主要结合实际，讲讲第二部分超高清的优势及应用。超大分辨率是 8K 的一个主要指标，宽色域、高动态范围、22.2声道的全景声，指标随着技术的发展得到了大幅的提升。视频的可视化信息会越来越多，细节更精彩。下面我们看这张图，从 8K 上截取的局部放大到高清尺寸，人眼中能够见到摄像者的影子。那么归结起来呢 ，8K 具有以下的优势：一、丰富多彩的表现形式；二、精致唯美的细节呈现；三、生化真实同步的沉浸感。首先，超大屏幕、多屏幕、户外、地铁、楼宇，大屏幕展示的画面形式多样，清晰唯美。我们通过申冬奥5K 宣传片的截图，可以感受到自然冰雪之美，欣赏宏大的画面。其次，画面广、焦点多，有效信息量大，人眼的实时聚焦范围仅为2度，但同一个画面有效信息多，吸引观众视觉的兴趣点就会非常的多。当一个画面的焦点多了，看点就多了，就可以满足不同受众的收视需求。这张截图是7000多米的海螺沟，我们植物学家、动物学家，包括游客，大家对同一个画面的关注焦点是不一样的，可以各自寻找需要的有效信息。比如说，这里面有2850米的低海拔冰川，鲜艳的橘色乔丽藻，多层次的树木森林，云、山、雾、溪，应有尽有。那么再举一个例子，就是这是我们拍了一个12集大型纪录片《紫禁城》，下面我放的这是一段画面，我们可以为不同的媒体提供不同的播放内容和展示方式。由于它的 8K 的尺寸够大，裁切自如，横竖大小可以随意的剪辑和组合。那么下面我们来看一下这段视频。因为这个我们拍了有100多个小时的 8K 素材，所以我现在就截取了一小段。其实这种丰富的表现形式还有很多，例如赛事直播，可以根据不同人的需要捕捉画面。未来的收视一定是根据个人的喜好，大数据分析、后台智能计算，为每个人量身定做，多角度智能追踪。分发提供个体喜欢的画面，比如说像赛事直播，那么我们根据每个人的需要，可以提供不同的关注点。8K 超高清可以提供精致唯美的细节呈现，例如在民族影像上，高品质的展示，原汁原味的历史留存。大家看到的这些镜头呢，是我们15年的时候拍摄的《最后的沙漠守望者》纪录片的画面，记录了塔克拉玛干沙漠深处的少数民族风情。沙漠深处的达利亚布伊村距离最近的公路240公里，那么进入里边呢，我们是要差不多要开14个小时。随着年轻人的外迁呢，这里将慢慢消亡。但是我们记录的这批影像将永远的永久的将他们的生活记录并保存了下来。 而且8K 的由于它的精细呈现呢，比如说在非遗传承啊、百工技艺啊这上面的记录会有非常大的一个优势。比如像景泰蓝、金漆镶嵌、内画壶、玉雕，像这些细节展示，我觉得能够给大家呈现更丰富、更那个直观的这种视觉内容。另外呢 ，8K 在 HDR 更真实的还原影像，我们可以通过画面感受到深度、温度和空间纵深。因为这像下面这一段视频呢，因为我直接自己参与过，所以在 HDR 播放的时候，你能够现场的还原到当时我们感到太阳出来的时候那种温暖的感觉。那么下面看一下这个画面。我们刚才看到画面的时候，其实有一种温度感的。另外，超高清的另一个应用方向呢，我觉得是360度环幕、球幕，它可以使我们如身临其境的参与到现场。这是我们录的一段汽车的现场画面，它是一个360度的环幕。当然，目前8K 的发展还存在一些瓶颈。首先是前期拍摄要求的对焦更准，硬件系统速度要求更快，软件性能呢要求更高，存储空间要求更大。但是随着技术的进步，以上的问题都将会迎刃而解。那么8K 在新媒体、直播、点播、互动等应用前景非常广阔。8K 超高清是智能家居全景互动的重要组成部分和互动呈现手段。8K 在提升 VR、AR 实战，依托人工智能、大数据分析等技术，助力万物互联。在智能医疗、远程会诊、博物馆展示、文旅推广、安监、远程教育、远程会议等VR、AR 虚拟场景呈现，都大有可为。其实日本 NHK 已经开设了8K 频道，我们台呢将在明年的年底开设，就是为了配合2022年的冬奥会，开播一个8K 的实验频道。那么我们现在其实一直在做这个技术的研究和储备。8K 的应用行业其实非常广泛，研发和探索其实大有可为。好的，今天我的分享就到这里。这是我们8K 的超高清工作室，我们有差不多20多人吧，就专门在研究这些东西，希望以后跟大家有更好的合作。好，谢谢大家。
感谢赵先生先生的精彩演讲，介绍了8K 超高清的一些优势和应用，后面大家可以进行进一步的合作。下面演讲嘉宾是佛罗里安格朗德博士，有请。
Thanks, Ms. Zhao's excellent sharing. And the next speaker is Dr. Florian Gohan, and he has several years of experience in immersive 3D sound recording and is the US and Canada representative for Zilia, a company that produces microphone arrays for sound recording for AR, VR, and music application. So now let's welcome Dr. Gohan.
Yeah, hello everyone, and I would like to thank CCIFF for the kind invitation to present here today. Let me just get my presentation started. Slideshow. Here we go. Yeah, I'll talk to you today about fully navigable audio live recording with the technology 6 Degrees of Freedom for VR and AR from Cilia. So the idea that Cilia tries to realize or has realized is effectively very simple. It is to capture the most human-like sound experience and bring it back to the listener in the most natural, immersive, and engaging way. Imagine the possibilities. Capture in a groundbreaking way performances of musicians, ensembles, and orchestras, preserve the acoustic space of famous concert halls and other venues, and we have seen many of them in previous presentations, record a unique sound scene and recreate it anywhere with fully navigable audio, or stream live concerts from multiple 360 points. Let your audience experience unique performances in a new immersive way in virtual reality. Let them be there. This is particularly important in times of the pandemic. So who are we? We are Cilia. Cilia develops innovative, world-class recording technologies and turns them into products that offer groundbreaking new possibilities to musicians and audio creatives. With a passionate and a dedicated team of more than 20 experts in music production, audio research, software, business, and product development, Cilia crafts and delivers products that redefine and revolutionize the way sound and musical performances are recorded and produced. So Cilia's mission is really to create technologies and products that set trends in the audio industry and bring it to the creatives and make it available for everyone, both for the amateurs and the professionals. So let's define what is surround sound and ambisonics. So spatial audio or surround sound is a technique for enriching the fidelity and depth of sound production through multiple audio channels from speakers surrounding the listeners. And we have had the presentations earlier with multiple speakers for enhanced reality of sonic representations. Ambisonics is a full sphere surround sound format. It covers the horizontal plane and sound sources above and below the listener. Cilia's ZM1 is the first commercially available third-order ambisonics microphone array for a high spatial acoustic resolution of a single point in space. The ZM1 is made of 19 calibrated high-quality digital MEMS sensors distributed on a sphere, and it records in 48 kilohertz and 24-bit, and it features USB connectivity for making the process of recording easy. So how do you go now from a great third-order ambisonics microphone recording to an immersive listening experience? Right, you decode what you recorded into binaural signals and put headphones on. So maybe like that. So now it sounds great. And by the way, in virtual reality, you can turn your head on the spot. What else would you want? Right, it sounds so great, you want to move. Right, you want to move. Hang on, there must be more to it. We want to move you, the listener, and not the microphone. So this is the moment where I need to speak about 6 degrees of freedom. What are 6 degrees of freedom? 6 degrees of freedom refer to 3 position changes through translation, forward, backward, up, down, left, right, and 3 orientation changes through rotation, often termed as yaw, pitch, and roll. And in 360 video, we all know about the 3 rotational changes, but we typically don't speak so much about the 3 position changes because we think about moving the camera. But as I said, we want to move the listener only, not the microphone. So how does Cilia do that? We use not only 1 microphone, not only 3. No, we actually cover a whole space and sample it with microphones. And this allows us then around each microphone to record a certain a sphere, a third order ambisonic sphere. And Celia has developed algorithms to interpolate for any point within these third order ambisonic spheres. In these points, we can introduce a virtual 360 listening point. And now we can put the headphones back on. And then we can calculate any possible path through this interpolated sampled space. And on this path, we can make all the 6 degrees of freedom movement, forwards, backwards, up, down, left, right, and we can rotate on the spot in any direction we want. So, and here you see now, for instance, such installation of a 6 degrees of freedom microphone system. You see several microphones in space prepared for an orchestra recording. So this is really the technology for the immersive age. Professional Celia 6TOF VR AR navigable live audio solution was created specifically to support the production of 6 degrees of freedom audio experiences. Multiple Celia ZM1 microphones are placed within a sound scene and capture audio for truly immersive experiences with freedom of movement through the scene in 3D. These recordings can be used for sound reproduction of 6 degrees of freedom rendering capabilities. So the user can experience not only the rotation of the sound scene, 360 audio, which we know from 360 video, for instance, but can also freely change her position with respect to the sound objects. And here I just highlight in this picture some of the microphones that were there. We have recorded already with up to 30 microphones in a space, but we have demoed that it is possible to record with more than 50, and more are possible. So now let me speak a little bit about how that works, the recording process. The Celia 6TOF VR AR set contains several third-order ambisonics microphones connected to a USB hub and a single computer. So signals from multiple ZM microphones can be aggregated and streamed through a single USB interface. This is important because no other audio interface is needed. Everything comes digitally from the microphone arrays. The microphone array that we use for 6TOF is a special one. It has also 19 capsules. They are all equipped with the extensive digital MEMS microphone from Germany-based Infineon Technologies. It has a great signal-to-noise ratio, a high dynamic range, and a high output linearity. It delivers crystal clear audio signals, has an extended pickup distance and sensitivity to both loud and soft sounds. And the most important thing, the matched and time constant microphone parameters do not require recalibration. The microphone, as you buy it, it stays the same over the years to come. No analog components are required, and it has a timecode synchronization so that we can synchronize all these many channels that we use in the recording. So how do we play it back now? We have several opportunities. One opportunity that you see here is for research. We record 9 ambisonic microphones or more, up to 30, and we can interpolate any trajectory in VR and AR through a Max MSP plugin that is specially designed for our 6TOF VR AR system. And then you can combine it with headphones, binaural listening, or you can feed a game engine. You can use user input to change position, orientation, and so on. However, we also have everything in place for virtual and augmented reality. You can play back the whole experience over headphones through HTC Vive, Oculus Quest, or similar. We have a WWise plugin that decodes audio into 3D binaural sound for headphones so that you can feed it right into game engines. So here you see an example. The user can listen to the audio scene from above, from any position on stage, or can walk amongst musicians, and a true being there experience is possible. We can also stream. Celia 6TOF content is ready to be streamed directly to 360 services such as YouTube or Facebook, and the operator decides on the listener's trajectory. The user can still rotate his or her head and listen to 3D binaural audio with the experience of being there. So what are the benefits? It's absolutely unique. We are the first in the world to record fully navigable audio. It's a simultaneous recording of multiple higher order ambisonics microphones. So whenever you produce something for VR, no synthetic sounds. You don't need synthetic sounds. Often in VR, you have sound effects, to feed your 3D sound engine, but here you can record everything. No synthetic sounds are necessary. You can do multi-point 3D audio streaming. You can experience multiple 3D 60 points of live content. The whole system is completely modular. You can easily purchase microphones and add them later on. And it's fast and portable because everything is basically within the microphone. The signal goes out digitally. So I want to show you some use cases. So what are the use cases? This system is now being used at top universities, philharmonics, and media companies for navigable audio recordings, VR-like music experiences, and creative immersive projects and streaming. But many other use cases are possible. Measurements of room impulse responses with near unlimited spatial resolution, film set sound recordings for flexible post-production. We play nicely with Dolby Atmos. In the post-production, you can change directions and microphone patterns in post-production. So it is very, very flexible. And here on the side, you see our collaboration with Red Bull Media House Innovation Department, Scalaria in Austria. We have also collaborated with McGill University, where I was so fortunate to be able to make various recordings. We have recorded in Redpath Hall here in Montreal, in Pollack Hall, in the Immersive Media Lab, and in Sartre-Bourgie.
感谢格朗德博士的精彩演讲，感谢 ，Thank you。
Yeah, I'll hurry up. Yeah, this is the biggest 30th ZMS, biggest multi-point higher order sonics recording to date with the Boston Philharmonic Orchestra in Poland. And here are other links to projects, and please feel free to contact me. I'm happy to share them with you. You can watch them online. And what's in it for you? The CCIFF set offers new opportunities to stay in contact with your audience, particularly important during the pandemic. We opened the concert halls virtually. Each new form of reaching the audience, whether streaming or VR, means a new way, new possibilities. Virtual venues are here to stay. And let me just quickly jump here to the last example. I want to play just 1 minute. If you don't hear it in stereo or binaural quality audio, it's all online. You can also reach me under this email address. I'm happy to answer any question that may arise. And so this is just a demo where you see how the virtual and the 360 video can nicely coexist. So in the interest of time, I have to stop here. Thank you again for listening. I hope I could convince you that 3D audio, navigable audio, VR and 360 video all goes nicely together, offers new opportunities. If you want navigable audio, we have the technology. Please contact me. I would be happy to answer any question. Thank you very much for your attention.
感谢格朗德博士的精彩演讲。他介绍了 CCIFF 公司的6自由度追踪技术及音频场景的应用。下一位演讲的嘉宾是天工艺彩的副总经理、视效制片人申远先生，有请。
Thank you, Dr. Khan, for a brilliant speech. That's very interesting and very interesting in real-time subtitles. And the next speaker is Mr. Shen Yuan, the Deputy General Manager and Visual Effect Producer of Tiangong Yicai. Let's welcome.
Hello, 大家好。天工艺彩我们是亚洲领先的一家视觉的特效公司，我们拥有超过13年，其实今年是15年的视效的制作历史。天工电影视觉特效呢，我们是致力于视觉效果的设计、开发 制作和管理，已经为国内外多部的这种有影响力的电影提供了令人惊叹的视觉效果，然后也多次获得像金马奖、天坛奖、华表奖等各种奖项。这个是我们基本的介绍。然后呢，我今天想跟大家分享的主要是我们在一些项目里运用到的一些新的技术的一些进展。然后呢，我可能会从3个阶段去给大家聊一下我们在一些新项目中使用这些新的技术的一些优劣或者是体验。然后在开发期、拍摄期和制作期，我们从这3个时间段去聊。首先呢是在开发期，那么我们在开发期呢，现在我们可能会采用一种新的手段，就是虚拟看景这种方式，来帮助我们的客户完成一些看景的一些工作。那么我们对比传统的看景和虚拟看景，他们的一些方式呢，其实是传统看景呢，我们传统就是采集照片、采集视频，包括我们的主创人员在现场体验这个环境，包括可能看到这个景的一些比例、尺寸，现场的一些位置、构图等等。然后由于我们采用这种虚拟看景的方式呢，我们需要在现场采集更多的数据，比如说像无人机的这种扫描的采集法如雷达的扫描的采集，然后高清的照片建模以及这种虚拟隐形的这种渲染。然后呢，我们的方式呢，实际上是通过这种结合的模式来帮助我们的片方完成一些比如说现场的搭景的一些尺寸比例的设计，包括一些比如说特殊的道具或者是交通工具，他们在初始的这个设计中可能并不能完全的掌握好它实际的这种尺寸或者比例。那么通过虚拟的这种方式呢，我们可能会在软件里去进行模拟，然后帮助它在真正生产之前，有更直观的这样的体验或者是感受。而且呢，因为是一个离开现场这样的一个工作，所以我们可以比较方便的在工作室就可以去体验，或者是反复的去观察这个场景是否是比较合适的。同时呢，我们也可以从第一波积累下来相应的虚拟资产和数字资产，来完成后面的一些新的这种技术类型的工作。像比如我们可能会通过一些雷达，或者是通过一些航拍来采集出这种高清的数字角色或者数字照片，然后呢，我们把它通过用照片建模的方式来完成现场的这样的一个复原的工作，然后在软件里或者隐形里去直观的可以让客户看到我的这个场景的一些比例或者是一些感受，然后就可以在工作室就进行相应的一些模拟。然后第二部分呢是视效预演和虚拟预演的结合。因为传统的我们在制作这个影片或者是项目的时候呢，我们往往会采用3D 动画来设计呈现我们的拍摄效果。这个工作呢，我们就叫 previs 或者是叫视效预演。那么我们在视效预演的基础上，实际上增加了一部分虚拟预演的这样的工序，也就是我们引入了虚拟隐形，引入了动作捕捉技术，引入了一些现场的虚拟拍摄的方法。这样的话，我们的实践呢，就会让我们的镜头拍摄方案和预演拍摄方案能够给客户创造一种相对更真实的体验，因为它是直接在虚拟环境中进行这种虚拟相机的操作。那么对于传统的这种3维动画的预演呢，它就会提高相当一部分镜头的制作效率。因为传统的动画我们都是在软件里，在那个各种工具里人工的去做关联帧动画，但是呢，把它变成了这种虚拟拍摄的方式，相当一部分镜头就是把艺术家的这种工作方式从技术转化到他需要有导演的思维和摄影师的思维。然后我们再输出我们的镜头的拍摄方案和我们最后的一个参考画面，然后来完成我们在画面里就是需要给客户展示的这些最终影片的结果，然后来指导他们在现场的拍摄和工作。所以像这些新技术的应用，在 后面的影片里其实是比较陆陆续续会逐渐普及的。然后在拍摄期呢，我们现在可能会采用像 LED 这样的一个拍摄方式。我们这种 LED 呢，还不是那种虚拟拍摄的那种 LED， 可能现在我们在实践中可能会已经开始应用在影片里的，其实是比如说像电视剧中有一些车窗或者是一些搭景的场景，它会涉及到窗外的一些延伸或者延景，因为考虑到它的拍摄的周期和这个拍摄场地的限制，一般很多的这个客户呢，他会选择在棚内拍。那棚内拍呢，实际上传统的制作方式就是核滤贝，然后呢，我们需要抠像，后续一系列的工作来完成。但现在的这样的一个方式呢，相对比较广泛的应用在影视剧中，就是我们用 LED 作为背景屏幕，然后呢，来完成我们的现场的拍摄。那它的优势其实就是临场感很强，演员会有一个表演的一个临场感，然后所见即所得，就是你拍下来的这个东西马上就可以应用。然后还有就是像车身高反射的这样的金属材质，它给到现场的这种光影会比较真实，甚至有些光影会超过我们后期通过人工的方式去加进去的那样的光影。然后还有一个比较大的好处就是可以节约后期的制作时间，因为传统的抠像合成制作量尤其是在影视剧中是比较大的，那它的制作时间其实是比较长的。那如果是用这种方式的话，其实后期可能就没有这部分的工作量，那我们的最终的制作时间可能就有可能会缩短，同时也会减少相应的制作成本。那我们片方其实是可以把这部分的预算放在可能更需要提升影片质量的部分。当然它有它的一些问题，就比如说我们的机位是不能够有太大的这样的透视变化的，然后呢我们需要回避摩尔纹的一些问题，因为本身屏幕的质量呀，它的这个色彩空间跟它的深度可能不太能够支撑后期一些比较深度的调色。就比如说影视剧、电视剧可能是可以的，但是在电影中，因为屏幕的这个颜色信息不够，所以它可能现在目前还比较难去支撑影院级别的这种调光。然后呢，在电影这种应用是相对比较少的，这个可能广泛的现在会应用在这个我们现在接触到的拍摄的影视就是电视剧中。然后电影呢，是因为它的运镜相对比较复杂，然后导演可能也会希望我可能后期能调整的可控性更大一些，所以它的这种使用的性价比相对会低一些。那么我们现在主要是在电视剧中比较推荐客户用这种模式。然后在制作期可能会涉及到一些AI 或者是人工智能的后期的一些运用。那我们实际上在影视剧中，尤其是像电影或者电视剧中，我们应用到的一些AI 的功能，主要是在第一个升格，我们比如说从24格升到48格或者更高的格数。传统的这种拍摄呢，实际上它是以24格为基础，然后有一些可能会是原生的这种拍摄48格。但是一旦到了后期，我们想要把它升高更高的格数，传统的工具里边的这种算法，其实在这个平滑度上是可能不如这种 AI 算法的这种平滑度。所以呢，很多的项目，尤其是就是电视剧的项目，它可能不会在原生的时候就采用比较高格数，但是可能在后期它需要有一个比较高码率的这样的一个效果，所以呢，从性价比的角度考虑，可能会采用这种 AI 的算法。第二个呢是超分辨率算法，也就是说，比如说我们从2K 升到4K 或者更高，原生的呢，实际上我们在拍摄的时候可能都会拍到6K、4K，这种原生的尺寸。但是我们在制作中，由于原生拍摄的这种高分辨率，会大大的加大我们机器的算力，包括存储的空间的需求，以及工时等等一系列的这种限制，所以它其实不太适合在原生的制作中直接去制作4K 或者是6K 这样高分辨率的这种素材。所以我们其实还是传统的大部分项目是以2K 为基础，少部分可能是到3K 或者直接接近4K 的这个格数，还是可以去制作的。所以考虑到这种性价比的问题，所以大部分的影视剧如果说采用最终提交高分辨率的办法，其实都是用超分的一种方式，在最终输出的时候，我们会把它做得更大。 分辨率更高。那这种方式呢，实际上是目前性价比最高的一种做法。那它的这种平滑度跟它的这个分辨率的精细度，其实也会适当的高于现有的一些工具的一些算法。然后另外一个应用呢，是在这个蓝绿背景以及复杂背景下的这种抠图的算法。因为我们在制作后期的这个 CG 中呢 ，Roto 和 Key 这两个基础环节会占用大量的人工时及成本。因为它是一个基础环节，所以基本上涉及到的这种合成镜头或者是我们的制作镜头里，就都会有这样的工序。因为这样的工序呢，时间长，然后重复率高，所以它是一个相对需要熟练化的艺术家或者是制作师去完成的。那么由 AI 自动化的处理呢，其实是一个大趋势，就是目标呢就是一键自动抠像。现在其实在一些测试的项目中，我们也会有考虑用到这种方式，但因为这个还是在就是这几种方式呢，有些是已经应用的，有些是还在过程中一点一点积累经验的。那么目前呢，优先的方向呢一定是在算力上，就是说我们在这个影视制作中，我们 AI 的一些算法呢，其实主要还是在简化人工的这种成本和时间，简化这种重复型的这种工作，来降低这些环节所需要的各种工时，来达到提高效率的目标。那么我们实际上整体从这3个维度来工作，前期、拍摄期以及我们的这个后期，那所运用到的现在已经应用在市场环境中的几种解决方案，现在是提供给我们的片方或者我们的导演呀、制片人呀，或者是我们的客户来进行。还有一些呢，这个是处在研发阶段，或者说是还是处在测试阶段的一些技术。那这些呢，实际上还是需要随着我们的技术积累，包括我们整体的思维方式的积累，以及这个制作工序啊，这个其实也蛮重要。就是我们在很多的项目中，我们去进行它的工序，它是有了技术，有了工具，然后同时我们需要从我们的流程上去进行调整，在不同的环节增加相应的一些流程，来调整以往传统的这种制作工艺或者是制作方法。所以其实它一方面是新的工具应用，一方面是老的工作习惯的一个转化，所以它其实是需要一点一点在不同的项目里逐渐的去增加这些新技术的应用，来达到一个最终的目标。
感谢申远先生的那个精彩分享。然后申远先生呢，他们也创作了多部耳熟能详的电影作品，包括太平轮》、画皮2、滚蛋吧肿瘤君等非常著名的作品。刚才那个申远先生也给我们做了精彩的分享，时间有限，我们可能后面大家再找机会多多交流，谢谢。下一位演讲嘉宾呢是骆毅博尚先生，有请。
Thank you, Mr. Shen's excellent speech. And the next speaker is Mr. Eloy Beauchamp. He founded Leloy in 2000 in Montreal. Let's welcome.
Everyone, can you hear me well?
Yeah. Yes, Eloy.
Pleasure. I will start to share my screen and do my quick presentation. I hope you all enjoy it. So today I'm going to share with you a bit of my story and how we went from analog to digital. So it'll be very light and very entertaining. I will do that all in 8 minutes to respect everybody's schedule. And I'm going to tell you about my business story and how we went from analog art to digital art, and in the process decided to create our own technology. The technology is called Cursor. So it's about me, a young entrepreneur who loved photography. From 2000 to 2020, so in 20 years, I built a business called Leloy. Leloy is a talent agency and an international production house based in Montreal. This is what we do. we're getting very good at what we do. We have a group of 15 employees. We have 20 artists. Most of our business comes from international clients, and we're very satisfied with the progression in the 21st years of the existence of the company. In 2020, so this year, we decided to expand the playground. At Les Lois, it's all about 2 dimensions, screen, print, digital, what you've seen, very 2D. I wanted to explore 3D space, and I wanted to use digital art and technology. So I decided to partner with a Montreal artist and business person called Daniel Irigui at Studio Irregular. Irregular is a new media art studio based in Montreal, focused on public art and interactivity. This is what we do here at Irregular. So we wanted to push the boundaries of interactive art and create a tool that would allow up to 50 users to use long distance tracking to interact simultaneously on large media facade. That was the objective. So we created Cursor. Using AI and computer vision, we are building a tool that will allow people to interact with large media facades. We will have 3 types of interaction. It will interact with the flashlight using flashlight tracking. It will interact with the entire body using body tracking, and it would interact with your face using facial tracking. This is the prototype that we presented 1 month ago in Dubai using both flashlight tracking and face tracking. You can appreciate large media facade, a 12 meter by 4 meter screen, and see multiple users using their cell phones and flashlight to simultaneously interact with the big digital facade. We also use a face tracking technology integrated in Cursor to generate this interactive experience called Antibodies. That was a huge success that people just loved and loved. In the fall of 2020, in about 9 months, we will premiere a show called a 5-building neighborhood scale called Our Common Home. Our Common Home will be a multi-user neighborhood scale 5 building using all the type of interaction that Cursor will be developed. And for us taking Les Lois 20 years ago and bring it all the way to live the interactive new media digital art in the first year of existence of Irregular is a very interesting journey. Working on that own technology called Cursor for us was the perfect runabout. That's my story. This is what we do. 3 key takeaways for every entrepreneur here. Business must be in a constant evolution, and it is a priority. You always must do things differently. This is my way of doing things, and always follow your dreams. And if you do so, you will live a very happy entrepreneurial life. I hope it was enjoyable for you and a bit inspiring. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. 感谢洛伊博尚先生的精彩演讲。下面的演讲嘉宾是加拿大 Oren Films Production Inter 制片人和经销商阿德里安·伯德森先生的演讲，有请。
Thank you, Mr. Beauchamp, for a brilliant speech and for your strictly confirmation to the time frame. Thank you again. And the next speaker is Mr. Adrian Bosson, the producer and distributor of Orange Films Productions Incorporated. Let's welcome.
You're muted. We can still not hear you. Adrien? Your mic is on, but we cannot hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes!
Okay.
Yay!
Okay. It's a bit late here. Okay, well, thanks for the festival, for hosting this summit. It's a fantastic group. I've attended several of these technology summits. It's always very fascinating to meet such a group of passionate technical people, specialists, but also creators coming together. It's always fantastic, and I'm very happy to be with you here tonight, although it's virtual. It's very, very nice. Also, it brings together great people from both sides of the planet. It's a great privilege to be here. So thank you very much, Miao, for inviting me, and the whole team for organizing this. Is fantastic. So yes, I'm Adrian. I'm a producer from Canada, a feature film producer. So Orange Media is actually specialized in feature films, works of fiction. We're actually right now working on our 5th feature film. They've all had great success in Canada, and our last one also had some great success in China, so we were very happy about that. Our company just won a new award from the Canada Business Award for the International Production Company for the best one for the year, so we're very happy about that. And in terms of technology, we're really focused in terms of content, in terms of story first, and then we use technology to make these stories happen. So we've just equipped ourselves with 8K Ultra HD cameras and post-production suite complete, so that we can do in-house the whole pre-production all the way to distribution materials. And we find that having all these equipments ourselves, and we don't rent out to other companies, we don't do service production for other companies. We really only work on original content or licensed content. And we find that having access to these materials in terms of preparation and testing our workflow in advance allows us to really, really use these tools to use the maximum capacity of these new tools in terms of low light technology, in terms of face recognition for the focus, in terms of new drones that we're testing, to make really the best work that we can do creatively, and compete in the international stage with really, really good content. So we've been having a lot of fun with our new toys. Technology is really, really impressive, and it's really fun to work with. We've been working on that a lot, and we're really, really looking forward to showing you guys next time the results of what we've been doing. And something else that's interesting is also, I don't have the images right now to show you, because we're still in the process of rendering it out, but we've also been working with a venture called Cinemachine, and we've been working with motion capture, live action motion capture, and using AI software to render it into animation. So that's something else that we've been working on during the pandemic, to try and move towards use our skill of live action capture and try to see how we can use it to write new stories into animation. So in a nutshell, that's what we do, and it's really promising, and we're really happy. We're always meeting some new people, and so we're very happy. And thank you again for having us tonight.
Thank you, my friend.
抱歉，感谢阿德里安·伯德森先生的演讲。接下来，请 Eric Tran， 艺术节国际数字艺术双年展的导演及艺术总监 Alan Tribute 先生为我们带来 作品的展示。
Exhibitions. Today we invite you to visit our 3D virtual exhibitions realized during the year 2020. The second collaboration with the Hyundai Art Lab in South Korea, Metamorphosis Volume 2, is presented in Seoul at the Hyundai Motor Studio from December 20th, 20. Here is a live visit of the 3D virtual version of this exhibition. It is important to Electra that our virtual exhibitions are as easily accessible as possible to everyone. Hence, our choice to be able to visit these exhibitions using a web browser used by all on a personal computer in order to avoid the downloading of a specific application. For this experience, we have reproduced in 3D, as faithfully as possible, the architecture of the gallery, the Hyundai Motor Studio in Seoul, also respecting the artworks of the presented artists. The sound ambience inside the gallery comes from the soundtrack, from the video work, played on the main screen. For questions of rights and techniques, we present excerpts from the video works and installations. It is also possible to go up to the second floor to see other artworks and view the exhibition from another point of view. It was important for Electra to make its exhibitions accessible in an active way by strolling and looking at the works according to the visitor's own rhythm.
卡住了，琪琪提醒一下 ，sorry。
Mr. Davels, is your video?
I think it's 5 minutes already. It's a super.
Would you still like to say something, Mr. Ellen?
Are you here?
Okay, I think then that was the works he presented, which was very nice. 现在不如我们继续吧。
好，我们15位专家，分别从影视制作与修复、交响乐制作与演出、戏曲文化、 大屏幕的一个互动，包括超高清、6自由度等技术的一个应用等多维度，分享了他们在娱乐科技领域的应用的经验和体会。我们大家收获很多。到此要跟大家说再见了。时间今天非常的紧张，感谢各位专家的辛苦，感谢各位参与的那个观众的一个参与，非常感谢大家。我宣布本次2020中加娱乐科技论坛圆满结束，欢迎再次光临。结尾音乐后，请主办方代表和演讲嘉宾进入 break room 进行短暂的交流。大家再见。
The 15 experts have interpreted the new technologies, new projects, and future development of entertainment technology from different perspectives, such as film and television, stage design, architecture, and interactive entertainment. We are very inspired. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of the 2020 China-Canada Entertainment Technology Summit. Thank you very much for your participation and see you next year. After the closing music, please organizers and speakers join the break room for a short discussion. Thank you. See you later. Ciao, ciao.
Bye bye.
Bye. Thank
Bye
you
bye.
everyone for joining.
音乐，我们的音乐，担心我们的音乐还有吗？
So we'll see people in the breakout room, the speakers. So don't leave yet.
声音。